Welcome to episode 57 of the Current Backloggers. This is supposed to be Mario from Mario Day, and I totally failed. The date is March 10th. I'm Rose KCP, along with my good friend and co-host Cody G. Cody, how's it going?
Pretty good, villain from Neopets.
Yeah, the welcome I was proud of, and then I was like, that just went off the rail real fast. So what have you been up to, buddy? You weren't here last week, so I'm sure you got all kinds of stuff to tell us.
Just eBay and work. My supervisor's quitting at work. He works nights, and he says he works nights and likes nights because he hates people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be honest, he's not a people person. He's also like I call him, all my coworkers on my shift, I call them G.I. Joes. Because, one was a fireman for like 30 years, or 40 years, since the 70s. And then he retired, and now does this. And then my supervisor joined the military in 1988 or whatever, and was in the military to 2014. And then the other guy was a cop for like 10 years.
POC or no?
Almost all of them were, but I forgot my supervisor's wife.
Okay.
The other two are black. I found out there's a new version of POC the other day. It's like BIPOC or some shit.
I don't know what that is.
I didn't know what it is either till Renee told me. Something to do with indigenous. Biopic almost. It looks like biopic. I don't know how fucking stupid we can get with acronyms anymore, but yeah, two of them are black though. But yeah, so they're all G.I. Joes. My supervisor, he could just he's been in so many different like conflicts. I don't know if you call them wars. It's more just I don't know. It was one in the late 80s, Panama or some shit, and then so he's in Iraq and Afghanistan, Desert Storm. The dude's been he's been around. I mean, he'd be the first one to tell you too. He's just kind of stand back, and he was part of like the Patriot missiles. Was that a thing? I think that's what he's talking about. Where they like intercept other missiles. Sounds like a cool ass job.
Yeah.
Like your job is to shoot down other missiles that are incoming. And it doesn't sound like he saw a lot of action, so that's probably why he could stay in for as long as he did. But he's a real cool guy once you get to know him. But until you get to know him, you're like, well, this guy's a fucking piece of shit. It really pisses me off sometimes. But that's just him. So knowing how he is, I don't see him working any other jobs, but he's going to do customer service at a credit card company. So it's going to be Danielle could talk about that.
Yeah.
She did that. I don't see it working out. I think he's going to come back.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like the right job based on what you're telling me.
Oh, not at all. He hates people. So I think he's going to come back. I don't think. But so they're like, hey, do you want it? And I was like, yeah, I'll take it over, but I think he'll be back. And they're like, oh, that's not how it works, man. Okay, yeah, I'll take it. So I think I'll get a promotion. So it's like an extra $3 or $4 an hour.
Very nice.
A little bit more responsibility. I haven't seen too much crazy difference from what normally happens there, but
yeah.
Weekends off, holidays off. So that happened. And now for some reason I'm in charge of a guy who was a police officer for fucking 15 years, and the guy was a fireman. Because nobody wants it. They're like, I've done my job. I'm retired. This is just something I do on the side. Then I'm doing a documentary with Ryan, John, this other guy we met from someone we knew at the theater. It's on this guy's truck. My dad sent me this photo of this truck that he worked on. He's a mechanic. It's this crazy Land Rover. It's all decked out. I was like, I got to meet this guy. So we yesterday went over there and filmed that at his house, and everything went pretty well. And he's a pretty chill guy, really nice guy. But then we went to Walmart. Before we go to Walmart, John, the other guy helping us film, he knows he's filmed a lot, and he does it professionally for weddings. And once you film stuff for YouTube or a certain amount of time, you know the cops are going to get called. It's going to happen. Or if the cops don't get called, people are like, what are you doing? What are you guys filming? Or you better not be filming me. I'm copyrighted. Probably just this year and just a little bit of stuff I filmed for my little side YouTube channel thing. Probably 3 times I've had encounters with people. Yeah. Because when you start filming out in public, people get weirded out. The only way I can describe it is like you pull out a camera and people get retarded. Like they get real stupid. I don't know. And not retarded isn't like, when I say retarded, I don't mean special needs people retarded. There's no other way to describe it. Look up the definition, the actual definition of retarded, which is like stunted, right? Baking bread, there's a term called retarding. And that's exactly what happens to these people's minds when you pull out a fucking camera for some reason. They're probably not even on the camera. Like, they're usually off to the side. They're not even in the, you better not be filming me. I'm copyrighted. I know my rights. I'm copyrighted. I was filming a family video this year, and next door, it wasn't Whitehall. That's probably my fucking mistake. I don't know which location. I don't know if it's Whitehall or Hilltop. The Hilltop location.
Either of those aren't a good choice.
Yep, Hilltop. So somebody got really high or drunk and drove to the Little Caesars next door, and there's just a fucking big piece of plywood with a normal house door to get into Little Caesars, and it says we're open.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about this.
Yeah, and so
episodes ago.
Yeah, so I was just filming outside of it, and the guy, he comes outside and he's like, I didn't give you permission. I was like, yeah, so it's this real crazy thing called it's public property. Even if it's not public property, I think it's the terms that you're invitees. So, granted, I'm on the sidewalk. I can record whatever I want. And then he just like swings the door open, yells it at me, and just goofy shit like that happens. So you get used to it. And I like confrontation sometimes. When I don't like confrontations, when it's somebody I know I have to see on the regular, or a friend or somebody I'm attached to, I don't like that. That's a little hard for me. But when it's like kind of a stranger, someone I don't see anymore, that's when I kind of become an ape. Like, I don't know how to describe like I don't even argue correctly. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just you've probably witnessed it a few times where it's just like I just start throwing shit at the wall and rambling and nothing makes sense. So that's kind of how I feel. But when you're not used to that, John's dealt with it way more times than me. And there's nothing the cops can do. They're just like, okay. Yeah, so you got to leave. They don't want you here anymore. And so it's like, okay, bye. But I've learned, don't wait for the cops anymore. It's not because I'm doing anything illegal.
Yeah.
They're fucking sitting there trying to explain to them, like, yeah, it's a YouTube video that we're doing. So, I mean, what are we doing here? They're usually hard asses too, you know, cops sometimes get. I think they're just pissed that they're there, which I understand it. Or they're really nice, like, what's going on, guys? What's going on? So what are we doing here? This woman over here is telling me, it's like you gotta sit there and explain the story 3 different times because there's always like 4 cops that show up. It's never just 1 or 2. You tell the story one time, it's like 4 times. Well, we were filming a video, and then usually at the end, try to be your friend. Oh, what's a YouTube channel called? And you're like, it's chill experience, but I don't want to fucking explain this 4 times. And usually there's one hard ass that just pisses me off. Like, oh, dude, you're so tough. Especially when it's the fucking some Karen. I hate using that term, but I don't know how to describe them. That are like, oh, I know my right. I'm copyrighted. My face is copyrighted. Like, you're fucking not copyrighted. What are you talking about? So we film an interview at his house, and it's pretty good. But I hate Walmart anymore. As a kid, I loved Walmart. I gotten older and met Renee, and she's like, you know that there's like Meijer and Target and stuff like that. And I'm like, wow, it's so much fucking nicer than Walmart. I've never had good experiences at Walmart. It's always a mess.
That's part of the fun, though. It's like Waffle House.
Yeah. There's a time and a place for it, and sometimes I'm just not in the mood for fucking Walmart. So we're at his house, and John's like, listen, Walmart's like one of the strictest places. We're going to get thrown out. And then John, I didn't know this was a thing until after it happened, but there's this rule in filming that John told me about. It's a common term. I guess there's YouTube videos and people's stories. It's called the 30-minute rule. Basically means you got something to film in one of these public places. You got 30 minutes before the cops are called. And if you're listening to this and you're one of those retards that calls the cops because someone's recording, just fuck off. You need to ask yourself, Well, so this cop could be coming from a murder scene, a suicide scene. Because Columbus has got a lot more shit to worry about. I'm sure you've seen the death tolls. It's like 40 people so far. Open the neighborhood app. Have you seen Whitehall? Whitehall's been on fire recently. I don't know if it's COVID or what the fuck. People pent up. Just, we don't have anything better to do, so we're just shooting each other. I did like what you said about the Polaris shooting, though. That like things are back to normal now.
Yeah.
It's really back to normal here in Columbus. 40 murders so far. We're going to break the previous records by far. But so we filmed there, and John's like, yo, dude, if we start filming at Walmart, we're going to get kicked out. And I was like, yeah, probably. But it doesn't bother me. And I guess the guy we did the documentary on didn't hear us go over this. I swear to God, he was right there. And it's my fault for not explaining this, because if you're not used to that. And he's a really nice kid. He's like 31, 32. Super nice kid. And he's not used to that environment. I don't know. I guess sometimes I thrive in those situations. I'm like, yeah, let's get it. Let's fucking go ape wild on each other. Let's get fucking bananas. But he's not. So we go to Walmart and we're inside filming while because he buys all of his stuff for his truck at Walmart. So it's like, we'll just film at Walmart. As much as I hate fucking Walmart. So we're filming in Walmart. Nothing. No one says anything. We're filming all through Walmart, all the way through the store. Leave the store. It's 15 minutes before the store closes. There's no customers around. So we're filming it, and then we're out in the parking lot. We're maybe, you know how big Walmart parking lots are. We're like 75% away from the door or something. I don't know. Halfway away from the door. And the lady collecting the carts is like, oh, what a cool truck, and being nice. And then when we worked at the theater, we had managers that were like this. I guess the only way I could describe them as power trips. You promoted them too quickly or something, and they just love having power over people. And I think that was her issue. Well, there's two ladies that we'll be talking about, two cunt faces, stupid fucking bitches, that we'll be talking about, that are just on serious power trips. And so they come out and they're like, they better not be filming me. It wasn't even anywhere near them. I didn't give him. That's my favorite. I didn't give you permission to film me. Oh, really? Because when you stepped out of your fucking house into a public place, it doesn't fucking matter. But anyways, so they I didn't give you permission. Didn't know I fucking had to, you piece of shit. So she's yelling like, "Oh, I didn't give you permission." Like, so we're just kind of ignoring her. Then John's like, "What?" Because he can't hear her. This truck's loud. This kid's got. What? You better not be filming me. That's my favorite too, because they want to be inconspicuous or to hide. The last thing you want to do is probably start fucking yelling at the person holding the camera. So, anyways, I didn't realize quite what was going on. And at the same time she's doing this, other work's coming out. They're like, yeah, they were filming inside too. And so I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. And before I really quite knew what was happening, she's on speakerphone with 911. Not non-emergency, but full-blown 911. You know when they answer and they go, 911, what's your emergency? That's a clue you called the wrong fucking number. What's your emergency? What? I mean, it's pretty cut and dry what a definition of what a fucking emergency is. I've made that mistake before of calling a non-emergency when I should have called the emergency.
Yeah.
At the theater, there was a lady fucking ODing, and I was like, I could tell she was still with it, like kind of in and out of it. So I was like, I'll just call non-emergency line. And they were kind of pissed that I did. They're like, what the hell, man? They're like transferring me to the emergency. But anyways, don't call non-emergency lines, or call them fucking 911 when you have no emergency. So then I realized, like, John's like, just heads up, I think she's calling the police. And this lady is almost shaking. She's supposed to be a manager at Walmart, but I doubt it. She's like holding the phone, and it's kind of like shaking in her hand. I was like, what in the fuck? 3 white males. And the lady in 911's like, ma'am, what are they wearing? One's wearing a black t-shirt, And she's like reading off the license plates of our cars. LBV. This is not the real license plate. 293. And then she's like, I can't find the license plate for the other one, but I'll get you the VIN number. And like runs up to the windshield. And then she's taking photos, like real close photos of everything on the car, running around with her camera, taking pictures of the guy that's in the documentary real close. And he's awkward already. And really nice guy. So what do? I just start fucking recording her. And she goes, he's recording me now as she's taking photos of us. What is happening here? And John's like trying to talk to her. He's like, I can show you the videos. You weren't in them. And she's like not talking to us and kind of running away from us. Just absolutely retarded. And this other manager walks out and she's like, guys, you can't. First of all, we had lots of customer complaints. Customers were coming up to us. There was nobody else in the fucking store. Your fucking bullshit store. Your fucking horseshit Walmart. There is nothing positive about Walmart. Besides the fact it's usually the only thing in little towns that has destroyed the economy. But we had multiple complaints from multiple people in there. My store associates are afraid they're going to be on YouTube. I have customers in there that just want to shop. They don't want to be on YouTube. And it's like, oh, fucking fuck you. And there's privacy laws. We're responsible for Walmart. You're responsible for all of Walmart, are you? These fucking... You know what would happen if you got fired? They would immediately promote some other retard in there to your position. Walmart doesn't give a fuck about you. That was something we talked about in the movie theater all the time. It was like, listen, this place does not give a fuck about you. Why do you care so much about them? But say we had multiple complaints from multiple people. So I just watched you walk out. There's no customers around. It's me and you. There's nobody complaining. We were just in there. We walked out. I seen you the whole time. And if you want someone to stop filming, just approach me. You're like, what are you guys filming? You guys can't film here. I would turn the cameras off. And he's like, then you're following her around, taking photos of her and videos of her. And I was like, I'd lost it. I try to be professional around the kid I'm filming because he's awkward. And, you know, he wants to present to be a nice guy. But once my switch gets flipped, it's over. So then this kid's trying to calm me down. But then John, I don't know. It got weird. And I was like, listen, you're being irate. First of all, you don't need to say, you need to stop saying irate. I don't fucking know you. I'm not some part-time person that works at Walmart because they're retired and for some fucked up reason they can't support themselves. So Walmart parades them around there and overworks them. I'm not some teenager that works in your Walmart and you can tell me what fucking words I can use and that I can and can't film. Granted, you can do that on Walmart property. You can tell me, hey, you can't film here. But then she's like, first of all, when the cops get here, they're going to have you delete the footage. I was like, listen to me, you dumb fucking bitch. This footage belongs to me, and it's not going anywhere. There's 30 people that watch my videos, if that. Maybe 80% of them are me clicking on them. Nobody's watching this. But then she pissed me off, and I was like, I'm putting you all over YouTube. I'm going to put your face on a fucking thumbnail. Sir, I'm just telling you right now, Walmart's going to sue you if you put those up. Walmart, the fucking big-ass corporation, is going to track down somebody with 5 subscribers on YouTube and sue me. I could have just lost my mind there. And the kid, I
think you did, sir.
Yeah, I did. And I'm trying to leave, but the kid filming the documentary is trying to be nice. He's trying to reason with these losers. These fucking assholes. He's like, I'm so sorry. We were just trying to, what we were trying to do. And he's like being so nice to them. And I was like, they're not even worth it. I was like, bro, we just need to go. And that's another thing. When you go to like any sort of stupid film class you take, as worthless as those are, don't take them. Don't pay for them. You learn. I'm kidding. I'm joking with that. But you do learn stuff. One of the things they taught you was like, hey, you can film. It's better to. I told him, I was like, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. You know that famous saying? That's usually how it works. Because Walmart's not going to say, yeah, come on in, film. We love it. And I told the bitch, I was like, I guarantee. She's like, you guys were filming in the parking lot. You're filming inside the stores. I was like, yeah, and let me guess. There's probably 100 Walmart cameras in there filming all of us. There's a fucking camera at self-checkout that's like this to people. You know what I'm talking about? Like this.
Yeah.
And the whole time you're at self-checkout, there's like someone just watching you. Do you think they give a fuck about privacy in there? About you? They're like, we just want our customers to feel comfortable when they come in. So you installed 4,000 cameras? You have a camera shoved up fucking people's assholes over in the fucking toy aisles. And I was like, there's probably 200 cameras out here in the parking lot. And she was real proud. And she's like, yeah, we do. We got them. And they probably recorded you recording. I was like, do you not realize how stupid that comment was? How hypocritical that whole comment was you just made? Yeah, we probably recorded you recording us. So how is that any different than me recording you right now? But anyways, so I hung around way too long because this kid wouldn't leave. He thought you could reason with these fucking idiots. And he tried to. And they called the police. And so he's like, I'm just going to wait for the police, man. I was like, fine, fuck it. I guess we're waiting for the police because here we go. Now I got to sit here for 2 hours while I explain to 5 different officers that walk up. So what's going on, man? What's going on tonight? Oh, here we go again. So we were filming a YouTube video. But so anyways, they in OSU, the classes are like, hey, if they ever say you guys have to leave, if anywhere ever tells you, hey, you got to leave, leave. Because if you stay any longer, it's trespassing. So when she said that to me, I was like, dude, we have to leave. I told him that. He wouldn't leave, so I just left. So I can't hang around. I'm not trying to catch a trespassing or something. So I left and went across the street and watched from a distance. I knew he was fine. He was safe. But then this bitch tells him, I'm sorry your friends left you. That's messed up. And they're like trying to get my name, my first and last name, from him to tell the police officer. And then she's like, actually, last time we called them, they took over 2 hours to get here. So you can probably head on out. But what you need to do for you to leave here, this is the ultimatum she gave him, you need to text him, and I need to get a confirmation he's deleting the footage. And then that's when we'll... So this poor kid texts me. I could read you what he fucking texts me. What the manager had him write to me. Like she has that kind of power. You're a fucking key carrier at Walmart. That they would replace you in 2 seconds. You think they give a fuck about you? He said, hey man, we need to delete that video of us at Walmart. The manager doesn't want her on the internet or employees. Me, I'm trying to stay calm because I still got to film some more stuff with him, and I like him. I really like him. So I did this for him. I didn't delete shit. I'm not deleting anything. But I said, yeah, man, can you call me? Meaning, like, I didn't say anything about the footage. What I wanted to text, because I knew the bitch was probably looking at it, was tell that cunt to go back to her bullshit apartment and pretend like she has some sort of fucking meaning and come back at Walmart at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning and go fuck herself. Is what I wanted to say. But I didn't because I like him. So anyways, he comes back and he's like, dude, I don't think I can go back to that Walmart. And then I feel bad because I'm like, that's his closest Walmart. This is where he likes to shop. This is where he buys shit for his truck. I'm like, dude, don't let them bully you like that. He's like, they know where I live. I was like, well, probably because your truck's real fucking noticeable, so they probably see it where you're parking and stuff. I don't know. So I feel bad for him, and I'm like, so I'm talking him down, like, it's okay, man. He's like, I'm afraid they'll take my truck. And I was like, the Walmart manager's going to take your truck? Who's going to take your truck? This poor guy, and he's like, I'm an Eagle Scout. I work for the Boy Scouts. I'm like, dude, how in the fuck is this key carrier at Walmart going to take your job from Eagle Scouts in your truck? How is this going to happen? So I talked this poor kid down. This kid thinks he's losing his truck, his jobs, because of these fucking bitches at Walmart making up laws. Telling me to delete footage while she was like this close to the speakerphone too. Like, for some reason, she had to be on speakerphone, so I heard the 911 operator. 911, what's your emergency? There's some guys here with cameras. And I just don't... I don't like that. So, normally I just leave as soon as that happens. Even John's like, bro, we just need to leave. I was like, I'm not leaving this kid here. And he won't go, so I didn't know what to do. But as soon as I was technically trespassing, I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. But so we go back and we talk him down from thinking, I don't know what he thought was going to happen to him. I guess I'm just used to that type of situation all the time, like confrontational stuff. And if you're not, Ryan was with us, but was that your belly?
Yeah, it's done like 7 times. I don't know if it's coming through on the camera or the mic or not.
I like it. But yeah, so that was quite the adventure after that. But besides everything, it filmed pretty well. I like a good confrontation. What I didn't like was the fact that he was there and I had to kind of filter myself because I didn't want to work him up more. Because at this point he was like, hey man, it's okay, calm down. And I'm like, ah, fuck. Okay, I'll calm down just for you though, buddy. I'm not for these bitches. I had so much more. When she told me, like, first of all, you need to stop saying irate. Like, you don't fucking control my vocabulary. I'm not one of your fucking 20 hours a week employees that you guys abuse here and don't pay him worth shit.
That's what I was gonna ask. Ryan was with you?
No.
Oh.
He left right before that, and it's probably a good thing because I don't think he likes
better hope he doesn't hear
confrontation.
this episode, or he won't be filming again.
I messaged him a little bit and told him what happened. And our biggest concern is because we had to film another day at a car show. It sucks because the Walmart footage is pretty good, but he doesn't want to use it because he's afraid. He thinks customers in the store are gonna somehow see this YouTube video gets 30 views and they're gonna sue us or something. I don't know, but for him, I'll do it. Those Walmart bitches can suck my left nut. I'll put them on Pornhub.
I don't think they would get many clicks there either, maybe less.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't. If you see someone filming something you don't like it, that's another thing too. People are like, all these customers, they feel real violated on my employees. But you know damn well they have fucking TikTok downloaded to their phones. You have Google sharing everywhere you put in your fucking GPS. You have your Facebook. You have every little detail on your Facebook. Facebook's listening to you as you talk and giving you ads on your phone. But a guy next to you is filming something that's doesn't even include you, and somehow that includes you. Damns your privacy. What it was 2 ladies on a power trip. Biggest pet peeve of mine.
Sound like a Pornhub video. 2 ladies on a power trip.
Oh, fuck, dude. But yeah, it was fun. I love filming. I think too, when those situations happen when you're filming, it feels right. Like you're like, I'm actually filming something of importance then if I'm pissing off ladies at Walmart. But yeah, remember, Walmart recordings, we could go back to 3, 4, 5, 6 fucking decades sometimes. They're constantly recording you. There's hundreds of cameras. TikTok, your fucking Google Maps, your Call of Duty mobile, everything on there is got way more your copyrighted material. And your face is not copyrighted material. And there's not shit cops can do. They can show up, hey, they said you gotta leave, man. After you tell them 700 times a story. Do not call fucking 911 when it's not an emergency. That's it.
There you go.
It was fun. It was fun filming. I love filming. Filming shit.
Well, I'm sorry it ruined Walmart for you, because I definitely have not high reviews of Walmart, because like I said, it's kind of like White Castle, but I definitely have great memories and thoughts of Walmart. And
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that.
well, that's why I stopped before I went too far, because it's definitely like a Waffle House way, not like there. And even the thing you're talking about with like them ruining towns and whatever, I told you how I watched the whole documentary, and I feel totally different. I feel like those kind of businesses were set up to fail. That wasn't Walmart stopping them. When you have things that are like that niche and small, I feel like you have to adapt eventually. And I feel like it just moves on to the next thing. Everybody talked about how Walmart was terrible, and then they're only going to shop at Amazon. Now Amazon's bigger than Walmart.
I I watched a documentary from the 70s, late 70s. It was like, malls are destroying America. The downtown is a ghost town. Everybody's at the mall. And now we're like, dude, Amazon's killing the malls. The fuck?
Yeah, I feel like just the next thing comes and then everybody's like, well, I'm not going to. That's a big angry corporation. And they just move on to the next big angry corporation to be, but they just don't know it.
Yeah.
Anything besides the adventures, though?
No, I think that's about it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you, buddy? Overtime?
Bingo.
I say your brother and Derek, they sound concerned about your overtime.
Well,
your amount of overtime.
To get too far ahead in the show, I guess we might as well go over both of our issues at the same time. When you're going over the overtime, what were you going over on? Were you guys just like Skyping, or what were you doing?
Xbox.
What were you playing?
Is this a stupid Warzone joke?
Yeah, I told you it's the thing about like
Oh yeah, you said we're crackheads or something.
Yeah, because overtime, you guys are like concerned about me, like intervention. So I was like, well then, Warzone can be yours, and we can just do this every week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. How much overtime you working this week?
Actually, not much. I only did it. I did it 4 hours, so that's like the least amount I've done in a while. I did. I meant to talk about last week. I thought you would find this funny. When I was working a ton of overtime, I can tell how much I'm working because to get in our job, we have. I'm sure a lot of jobs have. It's like a little box, and you have a key fob to scan into, so that way random people can't get in the building. And when I came home from work one of the nights, I just put that against my key lock here to get inside the house. I just put up a key fob where I had to put into the keyhole. And I was like, oh, that's not what you do. You need an actual key here.
Oh my god.
I thought you'd find that funny. I did it for like instantly, and then I was like, oh shit. It wasn't like I was sitting there so like smacking or anything. But definitely my first thought was just to use the fob to get into the house.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh, it's okay. Like I said,
it's all. Money's nice though.
Yeah, and they've never. It's never mandatory, and they never even push it or like passive aggressive like some of our other jobs. So it's all completely me choosing it. But yeah, the money's good, and I don't know how much longer they're gonna keep offering it. But I've also thought that multiple times, so we'll see.
Take it while you can get it.
Yeah, and then besides that, there's just a couple random things. I don't think I talked about this a few weeks ago. Did we talk about Groundhog's Day and there being what is it? Another month of winter, or 4 more weeks of winter. What is
I don't remember talking about that.
I don't remember either, but I meant to talk about it because he didn't see a shadow, which means that there's, I think, 4 more weeks of winter, if I'm remembering right.
What does it mean he can't see his fucking shadow? I never understood this.
I
think he comes out and he just like.
Well, I think what it means about not seeing the shadow is because the sun would be there during the spring instead of winter. I think that's where the shadow part comes from. But no, that's what that was my whole point, and what I meant to say when this happened.
Yeah.
Well, why the hell do we fucking trust a groundhog to judge the weather for us? And his fucking name is Phil. I don't know if you knew that. He has a name. Phil the Groundhog. And we're yep, shit, another month of winter. And everybody just abides by that like that's a normal thing that this groundhog just decided the weather for us. And I meant to say it when it was announced, or when they fucking did a presentation, whatever you want to call it. Because I feel like every time this happens, it's almost the opposite. And so far, it's definitely been the opposite. That's why I wish I would have talked about when it happened, because now it just seems like I'm jumping on board. But we consistently had at least 40 degrees almost every day. If not, today was like mid-60s, and that's been multiple times. And I just don't know.
Fucking 71 today.
I got 71. Mid-60s was the highest I saw, but even that is good.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's not going to stick like that all the way through spring to summer. I feel like this happens every year too. There's really nice weather, and then it drops back into winter because it hasn't actually transitioned completely to spring. And everybody's like, yep, see, global warming's here. And then 2 weeks from then, it's spring again, and spring stays. I feel like there's always like a transitioning of going back and forth between spring and winter weather. And somehow every year people forget that. They're just like, oh yeah, the nice weather's here, spring's here, and oh shit, winter's back. This one's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
I just don't know how, if you lived here your entire life, how that surprised you every time.
Yeah, Easter is when I'm usually like, okay, I know we're pretty safe from here on out.
Yeah. As much as I love winter and love the snow, I think we've gotten a good amount this year, so I'd be okay if it stayed spring, but yeah, I'm not expecting that at all.
I feel like you're getting that out of my system. There was a lot this year, and we got a really nice one on Christmas.
Oh yeah, that was fucking awesome. I'd take that again for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Or even I told you we're celebrating our family's Christmas in July. If we could get a big snowstorm just that one day, I'll take that.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen, but I'll take it.
It'd be fucking weird if it did, wouldn't it?
You mentioned what I was talking about last week about getting back to normal. I don't know if we ever talked about, I know I talked about it with a few people, but I can't remember if I ever talked to you when all this was, the coronavirus was like at its peak or whatever, and everybody's real crazy about how things would never be the same. Were you one of the people that thought that? You're like, yeah, dude, things are just never going to be the same again, and people are never going to like be okay in crowds, and there's not going to be.
Oh, I don't. No, I don't think I would have said that. It's possible I said that. I don't remember.
I don't remember at all. I wasn't like trapping you there. I really didn't remember what you said.
People don't. They said that about a lot of things though too. I think it'll change in the same way like things have changed from since 9/11. I think there'll still be things in place like the heightened security and craziness about terrorism. I think there'll be some of that, like masks here and there, and I think airports will really hold on to them. Airports love stripping you of rights, love making you feel like cattle and feel stupid. Which I fly to Florida next week, so I hate the TSA. Everybody, stop what you're doing. Stop this podcast. Go Google how many times has the TSA stopped terrorists. It'll blow your fucking mind.
Oh, I get it. Blow.
Yeah, 0. Fucking 0. Have you ever had like good experience with TSA?
No, but I've actually never had anything bad, just like annoying of having to go through it. Not anything actually really rude or anything.
It's not TSA officers. No, it's not their fault at all. I get there's a deterrent. I get why they've never caught terrorists because usually they're a deterrent.
Yeah.
I get it. There's a reason for them. It scares me how much rights are stripped from people and they're fucking like looking at 3D pictures of your cock and it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And in many ways, I'm like, did Bin Laden win like this? Did he change America this much that it's like maybe he was successful in the stupid shit he was trying to do?
Do you think that was their grand scheme to get 3D cocks?
He's just sitting in a cave and he's just like, I got it, guys. 3D imaging of cocks all over America. And the scene like pat downs of kids and shit. I get it. Terrorists are fucked up. They're gonna strap bombs to little kids. So I get why we do it. But at the same time, it's like that Ben Franklin statement libertarians love to use about like at what point you're giving away so much freedom for safety. Is it really worth it? I don't know the exact quote he said, and that was way informal and real stupid of me to say it that way. But he said something along those lines. You've heard that saying before, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't like the TSA. I think they overstep their boundaries. And they're usually huge fucking assholes. And I think it's a power trip. Like I said, these people, they don't really vet these people because they need lots of these people and they work in crazy hours. And you deal with fucking assholes and thousands of people walking by. And meanwhile, you're supposed to be looking for terrorists. But once again, Google how many terrorists has TSA stopped. 0. The fucking Unabomber had a fucking bomb strapped to his cock. You had 3D imaging of the cock and you couldn't catch the fucking bomb strapped to his nutsack. I think the 3D imaging was after him. But imagine how stupid he felt. Sitting on a plate, you just go to light your dick on fire and you never really blow up. Your whole underwear just catches on fire and you burn yourself and everyone's just staring at you like, what the fuck? And you know some people click with some people like, that's a fucking terrorist. You know they probably, his cock's been burnt, his ass has been burnt, and they're all just probably punching him in the face. That's such garva. That's justice. Now see if TSA did that to a terrorist, caught their dick on fire and punched him in the face a few times. I'd be like, fuck, it's kind of worth it to have my rights and liberties stripped from me. Literally stripped from me. To watch this fucking terrorist get his cock caught on fire and punched in the face a few times. I'm already hate flying. I'm petrified of flying. It's one of the worst things for me. So I couldn't imagine knowing the guy next to me tried to set us all on fire and just caught his cock on fire. I would take a few shots at his stupid face, too. He had a very punchable face. You ever look at the Unabomber?
I have. I can't tell you what it looks like.
Oh, I could just... He had a very punchable face. You're like, you're for fucking annoying. You could tell you're one of those annoying people. Hey, his cock got caught on fire, right? Like, he burned his whole dick area, right? Or am I just making that up? This is just an illusion of what I want to happen to terrorists?
I was asking about, well, speaking of cockfires, about things getting back to normal because...
yeah, sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. That was just my natural segue. I told you I'm going to get better at them. Because I feel like everybody I talked to said how it would just never be the same, and sporting events won't happen, and concerts won't happen, and this is just going to be how life is now. Like, I don't see that for a second. Like I said, I see what things sticking around like you say, and even that I eventually see mostly going away. I think it's just going to stick around because businesses are still pushing it, so people are going to see that as an issue. And then you're obviously always going to have people till the end of time now that take it too far and just never let go of that.
Yeah.
But that's the same with anything. You're always going to have the extreme end.
Well, Japan and them, they still wear masks from fucking 20 years ago with the avian flu or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was like zero flu this year. So clearly the masks are working for something. If there was zero flu.
Yeah. I think it's pretty clear, too, that it's not going to take long for things to go back to normal because every sporting event that has had any tickets available have instantly sold out, and not just sold out, but the aftermarket. Really? Oh, yeah. The aftermarket is absolutely ridiculous in pricing right now.
Yeah. You know how excited I was? Like, I didn't know Blue Jackets were a thing.
Yeah.
And Ryan was like, hey, Saturday, what are we doing? I'm thinking about going to this game. I was like, what the fuck? Like a different language he was speaking to me.
Yeah. Yeah, the aftermarket is absolutely ridiculous. And you could argue that the crowds are so small right now that there's going to, just like I use the, the analogy of the other extreme end holding on to this forever, that those are just the crazy people that can't wait to do things.
The anti-maskers.
Yeah, but I think that falls apart when they first were letting 2,000 fans in and it's instantly selling out, and now it's up to 5,000 fans and it's still instantly selling out in every single game, not like one big game. And that's just in the Blue Jackets instance, but you don't look at any sporting event that is open to any capacity and it's all selling out.
Yeah.
And the Super Bowl, I don't know, I didn't even watch myself, I'm not going to lie, so I didn't really talk about much on here. But I don't know if you saw that. It was almost completely full. Not just like that the tickets were sold. The whole stadium was almost full.
Really?
I was watching highlights and I was like, wait, what the fuck? What's going on here?
Oh, man.
And that also just shows how much the NFL cared about this the whole time, like they said. Obviously, it's just like most of these things where they're just pushing out narratives to try and get people to be like, oh, wow, you're great. Because, you know,
exactly.
Well, our biggest event is here, so everybody can come on in. Well, did it get safer? Why can they come in now? Well, it's just the biggest event of the year. Okay, but if you actually believe that, then shouldn't matter how big the event is.
Yeah, companies live in this illusion of safety, or this illusion that they give a fuck. But companies will do whatever makes them money.
Yeah.
Or whatever keeps them the most publicity. Like, look at go back to airports. We had to stand 6 feet apart throughout the whole airport. But then we all jam on a fucking tin can with recirculated air. You can only take your mask off when we give you a little drink. If you're eating, you take your mask off. It's just an illusion of safety.
Yeah.
And it could be a liability thing. Like, hey, this way we can't get... If they sue us, we could say, hey, we put all these in place. Or it's just, like, people feeling so self-righteous. Like, the people that use, like, the filters. You have a fucking profile picture with the mask on. You're like, staying home, saving lives. Those people, I think it's an illusion of self-righteousness or something. Or the illusion of safety.
Yeah. I feel like you saw that right away with this, that, like you said, the staying at home thing, and everybody pushing that in marketing just right away. It was all in everything. And then it's transformed so fast. I don't know if you've seen it now, that they're credit card companies and bank commercials are all talking about how you need to get out and support small businesses. Wow, this changed fast.
Yeah.
What happened to don't leave your house and the end of the world? And you can tell how fast it changed, because it might seem unbelievable to think about now, but when this all started, I don't know if you remember, the Blue Jackets and pretty much any event put out big statements about how their events were still going to happen and they were still going to let everybody in. And then right after that, they got put away and couldn't do that. And then they just went straight in, not just the Blue Jackets, just any business went straight into how they support not having anybody, and it was unsafe. And once you just put out these giant statements about how it's important to have people there and they're standing by that.
Yeah.
And I get that a lot of people didn't know exactly what was happening at the beginning, but like I said, they had plenty of time to transfer into other things since then. It's been an entire year now.
Or the double standards. Like, we knew people that had no problem going to grocery stores and thrift shops and whatever fucking little stores. But they were like, hey, do you want to go out to eat? Dude, is that responsible? Are you responsible? So do you not see the double standard of this?
Yeah. No, for sure. I think, like you said, big part is definitely portion of people trying to be better and make themselves look better while putting other people down.
Mm-hmm.
Because majority of people I see do that were the first people. Oh, dude, I can't wait to get my hair cut when things reopen. Oh, dude, I'm going to do this as soon as it opens. And I'm the one that's been less preachy about this, and somehow I haven't even crossed my mind. Like, oh, I'm doing this as soon as it opens. Oh, dude, the gyms are open. I'm going next day. Wait, what happened to all this talk about how you can't do anything? And going back to what you said about the mask, yeah, I've never been anybody that thought this was completely fake and that it's just all made up. And I think the masks obviously are doing something. I did see that about the flu. I'm wondering how true that is. Not that I think it's probably higher than that, and they're doing that to make it look better. But I also do think it's true that it probably has slowed it down. And I think that makes sense, because I think the mask, people make fun of it because they're like, well, you can just pull it off and sneeze, but a lot of people do in their mask. And
they take a shit in their mask.
That's what I thought of. And I think that makes sense. The mask is going to catch that kind of stuff, like snot and everything. I think where people get disconnected is that when you're breathing all day and then you're taking on and off, that kind of stuff's getting through. I think it makes sense that snot and that kind of stuff's not going to transfer. So that makes sense why things like the flu wouldn't be as bad. But if the virus is as bad as they say, I think that's where the mask thing kind of falls apart. And the CDC, as we talked about, has even said that unless you're using like the highest grade mask, that all the guidelines they're talking about throughout this entire thing about wearing masks and the statistics they show are based off of everybody wearing the most powerful mask, which almost nobody has. So
yeah. Well, then too, like, fuck the CDC. Do you see their statement? They're like, we think you guys could go to concerts and stuff if everyone's vaccinated.
Yeah, do you see the most recent thing they put out? They said if you're vaccinated, you can now be around other vaccinated people, or in small gatherings, you can be around unvaccinated people. Oh, wait.
Oh, that's a cool government acronym. Thank you for telling me how to live my fucking life.
And if you can be around unvaccinated people, what happened to the big thing that was the hot trend a week ago about this new variant that everybody wasn't sure if the vaccination would cover? So does it cover it now? Because we can go around people that are unvaccinated.
Yeah.
How does that make sense if there's this new variant that might not be covered by the vaccine? I think it all kind of is boiled over again, and why I was talking about in things getting back to normal. Like I said, even the small things of like hearing the crowd on the radio. It's like, man, this should not be like a comforting thing. This should be a normal, like, oh, the crowd's on the radio, but actually hearing that was like a comfort thing. And that's why I think I'm looking forward to baseball so much, because like I said, baseball is such an American thing, and even though football is my favorite sport and baseball is actually a few down, I'm actually more excited for baseball than I have been for any sport this year. I think it's for that reason that it's outdoors, so things should be safer and people will be more okay with it, but also just that it feels like such a tradition thing. And that had to be, I'd imagine, the first sporting events I would go to and go to regularly because the Clippers are such a cheap option here.
Yeah.
But where it all came back up is, I'm sure you saw, Texas lifted their mask mandate, and everybody freaked out about that and said how there's crazy nut jobs, anti-maskers. And I'm not going to lie, I didn't know this. When people started saying that, I started looking stuff up. So, man, that is kind of crazy they did that. Not that I think it's wrong, but I'm just surprised somebody acted like that. But did you know they were the 15th state to do that?
Really?
Yeah, it's just so weird how news is selective and things are reported, because I even assumed that was the first one.
Because Florida was before them, right?
Yeah, Florida was. I don't know all of them. I looked it up at the time. But
I love Florida, man.
And there's 3 other states that have done it more than 3 weeks ago, and not only had the cases not gone up, but they actually have gone down, which that even seems that's almost hard to believe. And everybody's like, well, it makes sense because of vaccines, even though only 77% of the population in the U.S. has a vaccine.
I love people, too, that are sharing their vaccine cards.
Oh, yeah.
People at work have been taking my wallet. See this?
Uh-huh.
You see it? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
There's people. I've seen people at work wearing multiple masks.
Oh, yeah. I knew that would happen.
Because the CDC said to do that. And I was like, this is a South Park episode.
Yeah, what is it? The vaccination special is tonight.
Is it?
Yeah, just happened tonight. Can't wait to see it. But, yeah, it's all crazy. And like I said, the fact that how that was reported, and even I assumed that they were the first ones and that 14 other states have already done it, and then nobody's reporting how well it's went, seemed kind of odd to me. And everybody's talking about, well, you can't judge it because you got to wait 3 weeks and then you'll see what happens. But then there's states that have done that, and everybody's like, well, you can't really judge that. And then everybody's like, well, yeah, but vaccinations, even though 7% of the population has it, and now they say that 80 to 90% would have to have it to have immunity. And everybody's like, well, yeah, but that's immunity. That's not, you can still have a slowdown. So you're telling me 7% of the entire population is enough to change this, but you need 80 or 90 for immunity? That doesn't quite add up, especially because every expert said it would take at least 6 months to see a difference, and we're like 3 months into vaccination, and everybody's like, yeah, you're seeing the difference.
Are you going to take the vaccine?
I'm not sure. I'm not, kind of like the mask and all that, I'm not completely against it. I don't think it's something to like control all of us or anything crazy. I just think it's also completely irrational. But, well, I'm not sure. This seems pretty rushed, and most vaccinations, like the flu vaccination, all of them had so many side effects until they were worked out. So I think it's just kind of odd how everybody's jumping on board, and if you don't, you're some nut job. This seems so opposite of what it should be. So I'm not saying I won't get it, because I might. I also find it funny that almost everybody that's doing that, I'm like, did you get your flu shot? No, I didn't get my flu shot. What? Then how are you?
Yeah. I recommend listening to the interview with Brett Weinstein on Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan's newest interviewer on COVID. Let's see. I forget his name. Let's see if we can find it on here. Jamie Metzel. I know I'm very anti-Communist Party China, but it definitely leaked out of a lab, without a fucking doubt, at this point.
You think so?
Yeah, I think I'm speaking out of my ass. I don't know much. I think in a few years it's gonna come out. China's been known to cover shit up. Like when they talk about there was a China's like, we're gonna get bullet trains because fuck Japan, they hate Japanese. It's like a thing from World War II. But they want their bullet trains. A bullet train crashed after this big announcement that we got our bullet trains, and they just buried it. And then there was like, I think one of those crashed and killed a bunch of people. And they're like, no, it didn't. No, it definitely did. Psst. And then eventually they dug it up and they're like, see, I told you, and they had to admit it. So just look at the history of China. especially from Mao. They've tried to bury everything that piece of shit did. Hitler 2.0. So I think this shit will try to be buried, but I think the truth will come out eventually. Another crazy part, too, like the whole meat market thing. I guess when this started, it was in the fucking winter. These bats and the pangolins weren't even there. There's a fucking a lab there that's been known to break rules and got in trouble that studied coronaviruses. I think it's so obvious that it leaked. And the fact that, like, Brett Weinstein was like, dude, this thing, when I look at this thing, it's something that's like a designer made this perfect for spreading. I don't know if they did it on purpose. It really put them in a good position and really fucked with us hardcore and probably stopped their worst enemy number one to them, which was Trump, from getting reelected.
Did you see the statement he put out today?
Yeah, I did. Where he, like,
Couldn't believe that was real.
China virus.
I saw people sharing that hate him. I was like, that is definitely not real. I can't believe they're sharing that. And I was like, this is fucking real.
Yeah, I miss when he had a Twitter account. That shit was daily.
Did you see the Texas Rangers, the baseball team, announced that their home opener will be they'll be selling out to capacity?
Really?
So I guess if everybody says you can't judge by the other things, we'll figure out fast. 'Cause that's like 50,000 people all in one spot.
Well, I think you got to ask yourself, which state in the fucking union do you think is doing things right?
The odd thing is that after that, it's like most of this stuff just seems selective and kind of stupid. It said after that they'll go back to restricting it and having numbered crowds. So I was like, wait, so the home opener, it's okay to have an entire crowd and it's safe, and then you gotta, after that it becomes unsafe. But so it seems kind of backwards. Even if you're gonna do that, you think you would start with a smaller crowd and work your way up.
I mean, if you watch most baseball games, some of them already look like they're limiting numbers in there.
Well, that's because you watch Indians games. The baseball team. Reds usually are right there with them, sadly.
Yeah. It's just there's so many fucking games, you know?
Yeah. But I guess we'll see what happens with all that craziness. We can, I have one more random thing before we get into the show, but this one's at least gaming related. Did you hear about the Aliens game that was announced last week that I talked about?
No.
It's like a third-person shooter, Left 4 Dead style alien game.
Oh, that sounds great. Be what Colonial Marines is supposed to be.
It sounds great. You should watch. IGN has a 25-minute video of it. It's cool, but it's made by, I think it's Cold Iron Studios. I've never heard of them, which wasn't a good sign. And the fact that it just got announced randomly and it comes out this summer, I was like, ooh, I don't know about that. The only thing that gave me hope, I talked about last week, that this developer's been working, I think it said, for 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
And it said that they, since then, have built up 40 people in the company. So that seems like a lot of people for a small thing like this and only releasing one game. But at least the video they put out so far looks super generic and pretty bland and boring. Which sucks because, yeah, that alien game in Left 4 Dead style sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to bring it up since I talked about last week, and I've seen some gameplay since then because that was kind of my concern, and kind of seems like that's happened, unfortunately. But anything we forgot to talk about from the weeks before? Since
no, I'm about almost an hour into the last episode.
Okay. I know I forgot to talk about what I've been up to. I forgot to talk about, you saw when he came in, a new sectional we bought. We bought a big sectional upstairs to replace our couch and chair. So it was quite the adventure trying to get all that stuff in here, but it's super nice now. The only concern I have and had, this is probably gonna sound like a joke, but it's real, was the PlayStation VR, because you probably saw upstairs it's a more limited space. So I'm curious to try out the PlayStation VR and see how it works in there. And then, actually, speaking of PlayStation VR, did you see that random thing that PlayStation put out? It was like 6 new PSVR games.
No.
I forgot to talk about it last week. They put it out the day after their State of Play for some reason, which their State of Play was super lackluster, so I don't know why they didn't have this as part of it. Especially, it was 6 games, and they had like 3-minute trailers. So it's kind of cool getting a better look at it. But even if they did like a sizzle reel and like, hey, tune in tomorrow, it'd been cool. But one of them was Doom 3 VR. It's the entire Doom 3 game in VR. I should put the other ones in here, but
that'd be a good one for it too. That one was like the most horror.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know how to describe it.
That was one, I think,
Scary?
probably on an old podcast. Maybe that was the beginning of this one. I talked about playing Doom 3 when I was younger, and I restarted it recently on PS3 to try and beat it, and I planned to beat it but never did. And now I don't know if it's too late or not.
I was reading an article on Doom 3. I forgot they had that stupid thing where you couldn't have your flashlight and gun out at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Which that kind of works for the horror part of it, but it also was frustrating as well. But the other ones, I know there was Expect to Die 2, which is a popular VR game. The first one was, and then all the other ones were new properties from what I remember. So that's kind of refreshing, but it's kind of shocking and came out of nowhere. Just 6 PSVR games like that announced. And then the only things I forgot to talk about are the kind of corrections, I guess, moving into corrections, question, feedback, were Lord of the Rings. I was talking about that last week, watching Return of the King. And do you remember this movie being kind of cringy at points?
Return of the King?
Well, just the series. I still love it overall. I think it's super impressive.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Especially the ending of Return of the King where they're like hopping up on the bed.
That's what I talked about.
Oh my god.
Daniel had correction. I imitated very terribly. Frodo getting excited about seeing Sam, but he said about Gandalf, and he says it really ridiculously. I think that's why she corrected it, because I won't embarrass myself again, but yeah, that scene's fucking awesome in all the wrong ways.
Usually, the cringy shit usually involves the hobbits too.
Yeah.
Which are my least favorite in the series.
I did put something else I didn't talk about last week as for Lord of the Rings. It was this line. I feel like it had to be intentional. It was so disgusting. This one was from Smeagol, and he was talking to Sam. It was when he took the rabbits away from him because Smeagol was just biting straight into the rabbits and eating them, and then Sam showed him how to cook it, and Smeagol got mad and talked about how they could just eat fish instead. And then Smeagol, in his Smeagol voice, said, "Give it to us raw and wiggly." And he says it's so disgusting. Give it to us raw and wiggling. And I was, whoever wrote this is so innocent they don't realize how fucking disgusting that sounds. Or there's somebody who's like, yeah, I can get away with this. Nobody. I was like, this sounds so nasty.
It's hot.
You should watch the clip. I can't do it justice, as you might be able to tell there.
Do you know why they're doing all this year?
Is it an anniversary? Or are you asking me?
Yeah, 20 years since Fellowship of the Rings came out.
I feel like I remember when I started doing this, I saw something about an announcement like that.
God damn, dude, that makes me feel
disgusting.
old.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Fellowship of the Rings when that was a day went by.
Was it?
Yeah, VHS. Good old VHS days.
Yeah.
That and episode 1 were constantly on repeat in the VHS player.
That's totally fair.
And that feels like 10 years ago, maybe. Not 20.
Oh, I know. It's bonkers.
9/11's going to be 20 years this year. What the fuck? I feel like last year we celebrated the 10-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Celebrated? The terrorist thing is that to say, Cody? What should I have said? Honored? I don't know.
Probably, yeah.
Celebrated.
But I didn't correct you, so.
Celebrated. I'm a member of Al Qaeda. This is a good thing to say a week before getting on a fucking plane.
We can move on to question of the week from James B. Says, how's it going, guys?
Oh, hey. That was a serious one. I did forget to say hi there.
I thought since it's been a little bit, you're doing that on purpose. He says, before I get to the question, I'm going to start with some feedbacking. First off, I love the new intro music. Ryan, thank you. Hopefully you've listened to this and heard your amazing addition there.
Dun, dun, dun.
Second, I think Ryan should be the news guy. I don't know if James is replacing you.
Oh, shit.
Because Ryan was the news guy last time, so I think he's like, yeah. Maybe you do normal recordings, and then Ryan just comes in for the new. It's like actual ABC broadcast in here. Ryan comes in for the news. And then he says, because he has such a way with words, it's unbelievable. And then he said, this week's question is another simple one. Is there any underrated or not well-known games you wanted to recommend to your viewers and listeners? Signed, Sasquatch. I don't know if he expects me to read that every time, but I'm just going to keep doing it. I talked to Cody before this happened, James. We actually did an episode all about this. I'm not just trying to get people to watch that. Me and him talked about that would be way more helpful and informative than anything we could think of right now. So we would just either reiterate what we said in that episode or miss out stuff that we actually cared about. Did you have anything new that before or since that episode we recorded that you know of?
No, not really.
Yeah, the only one I would say, it's not really, it's gotten good feedback, and I don't think it's that.
Good feedbacking.
Not that well known, but Donut County. I streamed that game on the last Extra Life stream. It's on Game Pass, so you don't have to pay for it. That game's super fun. But I'm going to try, never done this before, so we'll see how it goes, but I'll try and put a link to the video I'm talking about right now. I should at least looked up the episode, so I could have said that. I'll put it in the description of the YouTube video for the episode if I can't get the link to work. But if you want to watch that, that'd answer your question.
Or a great alternative, too, because this is kind of where I found some of mine, was Metal Jesus Rocks has a great series called Hidden Gems, and he goes through like every console and talks about some off-the-wall games that you would never expect. And they're usually really cheap.
Okay.
Relatively cheap for whatever the console is.
I'm going to read a question from James from a few weeks ago because I said I would ask you. Probably should give you a heads up. So I'll read it now, and then we can maybe come back to it if you don't have anything. He said, what was it? Oh, my God. It was this one. If your favorite game had an option to replace characters with characters from your favorite movie or show, who would they be, and what would make it better or worse?
Yeah, I thought about that one, man. And,
did you?
I also thought about his other previous one where he talked about headcanon.
That's actually the one I meant to ask about. So that doesn't seem right. So, yeah, headcanon is what I meant to ask about, yeah.
No, I never got into shit like that. I
No.
never thought about that. I mean, maybe I thought sometimes about like, fuck, I don't know. I always loved clone troopers, and maybe putting a bunch of them with like Gears of War guys would be sick, but
yeah, it'd be awesome.
I never like Marcus Phoenix ordering around like a bunch of clones and fighting locusts that way would be kind of sick. But besides that, no, I never really thought of anything like that. But for your other question, too, I never really thought about that either. Switching stuff out. I like how you chose Lost and Halo. I don't know, man. Maybe putting, like, some Game of Thrones into an RPG game or something, just because I want a solid, like, Elder Scrolls experience, but with Game of Thrones. I know Atlas made a game a few years ago, but putting Jon Snow's story or something like that in Elder Scrolls as DLC would be kind of cool.
Okay. Actually, this was probably months ago at this point now, but I randomly had thought about a question James asked about dream games that we had. Like if we could make a game. And this one isn't very unique, but I think you'll agree. We'll see. How do you feel? I think this would be a match made in heaven. Bioshock VR, but not just like you port over Bioshock, like from the ground up Bioshock in VR, and not like gimmicky. I love PSVR, but a lot of it's gimmicky or kind of bottom tier. But like Half-Life Alyx style as far as production and care and time put into it, But Bioshock, I think it'd be fucking perfect because without spoiling Bioshock too much, it depends a lot on your perspective, and I think it would be even more impactful than somehow even more impactful than Bioshock already is if you were actually like feeling like that character while you're doing it.
The game would be so much scarier too.
Oh yeah, that too. Probably a little more frustrating, but I mean, I would even love a port of Bioshock. I just feel like that would definitely feel gimmicky and not well made if you just port over the original Bioshock. And I know what's going to happen now, so that kind of ruins a lot of the luster there. But I was just trying to fill in some things there because I didn't want to dodge your question, James. I think that's actually the most genuine way to answer it. So if you have any corrections, question, or feedback, you can send to currentbackloggers@gmail.com. And then you want to get into the news, buddy?
Yeah.
All right, go for it. You're the news guy. Ryan's not here.
Let's see. I got to go back. Let me switch out the docs. I should probably link that other doc to my main one here. Halls of Montezuma. All right, let's get in the news. This one's from IGN. I'm guessing this is the titles of the articles. Xbox Series X/S and Xbox One are getting an upgraded browser, which initially sounded exciting to me, but I was like, I don't fucking use that thing.
Yeah, I don't either. Part of it is because it's so fucking janky, though, and what this talks about, I think, is a potential really cool idea.
I've watched porn on my Xbox before, though.
Have you?
Yeah, the browser works good for that.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never tested that just because I haven't thought about it, but even if I did, I'd probably be like, it's not gonna support fucking video in there.
It does. It supports video.
Huh.
Xbox Series X/S and Xbox One consoles will soon be getting a new upgraded Microsoft Edge Chromium powered, which Chromium is I had to look it up, is Google-based code language software writing thing, which kind of makes sense with Chrome, which is kind of funny. So this means like Chrome and Edge are working together.
Yeah.
And it's powered browser that is capable of playing Google Stadia. I'm like, is that maybe Google hooked them up? Like, let's help you make Edge better, but you got to put Stadia on there for us. As reported, The Verge, testers in Xbox Alpha Skip Ahead Group, that's such a ridiculous name, most early 2000s name I ever heard, can now access this new version of Edge, and while it still doesn't have full mouse and keyboard support, which is insane, doesn't the console, can't you play some games with the mouse and keyboard?
Yeah, certain games.
And is a bit buggy and appears much better than the current solution. One benefit of the Chromium browser on Xbox is allowing it to work with browser-based streaming services like Google Stadia and Amazon Luna. Additionally, even though Xbox consoles have native access to Xbox Game Pass, this could theoretically also allow for Xbox cloud gaming through a browser, which is just weird. I don't know why you do that. You have your Xbox right there.
Yeah, I didn't understand that part either. The only time it makes sense is something like Apple, where they'll have to like a workaround because they won't let it on there. But when it has it, I don't know why you'd ever choose that.
Microsoft adds support for it in spring of 2021. Furthermore, this should allow for more improved capability with browser-based games and services like Skype and Discord through the web. I think Xbox should just make a Discord app.
I think that's what I was going to say. That and Stadia, I think both of them apps will be way better. Yeah. I just don't know if they're going to be weird about that because I think Discord, I feel like they want you using their chat. Xbox wants you using their chat, not Discord. And then Stadia, I feel like that might be... Xbox is all about spreading around and everything, but I feel like they might think that's a little too close to competition to just let them be on there with them.
Yeah. So this one, next article is from The Verge. Microsoft completes Bethesda acquisition, promises some Xbox and PC exclusives. Which time's weird, because when I read this earlier, I was like, bro, that's not till like a few months. And I realized, holy shit, we're in March already. So that went quick. Microsoft has finalized its $7.5 billion deal to acquire ZeniMax Media, the parent company of Doom and Fallout studio Bethesda Softworks. The finalization comes just a day after Microsoft secured regulatory approval from the EU for the acquisition and will now bolster the company's first-party Xbox game studios up to a total of 23. I think it's really odd that a company has to ask permission for the government. This is the next step in building an industry-leading first-party studio team, a commitment we have to our party community, says Microsoft Gaming Chief Phil Spencer. With the addition of Bethesda creative teams, gamers should know that Xbox consoles, PC, and Game Pass will be the best place to experience new Bethesda games, including some titles in the future that will exclusively be to Xbox and PC players. This deal includes Bethesda sub-studios like Dishonored developer Arcane, Wolfenstein Studio Machine Games, Doom maker id Software, and the Evil Within studio Tango GameWorks. Microsoft now has 23 first-party studios compared to Sony's 13 PlayStation studios. Bethesda will now be run as a separate business at Microsoft with its existing leadership, which I guess is something similar it said that they've done with other acquisitions like LinkedIn. And in a separate blog post, Bethesda marketing chief Pete Hines said, First of all, that Pete Hines, I always love that name. I don't know why. It just rings, just rolls right off the tongue. Pete Hines. Sounds like a ketchup brand or something.
Yeah.
Well, I guess because Heinz is one.
Yeah.
But like a special exclusive Heinz. First, let me say we're not taking any landmark announcements or changes right now. As we've all shared, the expectation is that Bethesda Softworks. Quick question, Casey. Do you like ketchup?
Fuck no.
I figured I could have guessed that.
Oh,
one.
God, makes me want to throw up just smelling it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I love ketchup. Just not on hot dogs. That's where I draw the line. Okay, so anyways, Pete Hines says, First, let me say that we're not making any landmark announcements or changes right now. Bethesda Softworks and our studios will continue just as we have in the past, just with more support and resources than we ever had before. Yeah, Microsoft's endless pocketbook. Obviously, Game Pass has been an important initiative for Xbox, and we'll be working on putting even more of our games into Game Pass than ever before. Beyond that, stay tuned. We're just getting started together. Microsoft originally announced its plan to acquire Bethesda in September, promising to honor PS5's exclusive commitments for Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. Games like Elder Scrolls Online will also continue to be supported exactly as it was. Questions have been raised over Microsoft's plans for Bethesda's exclusives on Xbox and PC, and Spencer has made it clear today. I never heard him referred to as Spencer.
Sounds like fucking frat, bro.
Yeah, right?
Spencer.
What's up? My name's Spence. I collect RC cars and drink wine coolers. Spencer has made it clear today that there will be some new titles that will only be available on Microsoft platforms. Exactly how many isn't known yet, but in the meantime, Microsoft is bringing more Bethesda games to Xbox Game Pass later this week. So clearly something's going to be exclusive at some point.
Before we get to the less important stuff, all this Bethesda news, I think we should address the fact that your first stop for a frat bro was collecting RC cars.
I didn't think like a frat bro.
Uh-huh.
I just thought of like an odd guy. What's up? My name's Spence. I collect flea market swords. I feel like we all knew kids that did just weird shit like that, you know?
Me and Nick used to collect swords and blades.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
so that was
fuck
us.
Yeah, that was you guys.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw Xbox since I sent you that, put out something about how there's going to be Bethesda games dropping on Game Pass real soon, and they said they put out a list of them. But yeah, there's a couple things in there. First off, did you see the trailer that Bethesda put out for the announcement? It's like 2-3 minutes long, but it's really well done. I think you like it a lot. And the logo they use for it, I've never seen it. I think you would be all about it. It's it looks like it's from the 80s, but it's modern, and I've never seen their logo like it. It's really cool. And then it's kind of like a sizzle reel of their games and showing the studio, and some badass music behind it, and Pete Hines is talking through it. And then something that either it's another game and I'm something I haven't played, or somehow nobody's talking about it, but I'd be shocked because I feel like people pick up on this stuff. They definitely show it was only like 10 seconds, but that's enough for people to freak out with what this game is. A game that I'm almost positive was Starfield. It was a space game and it was first person, and it was it's possible. The only thing I can think of is Prey, since I haven't played Prey. Maybe it was that. So I feel like people would have been. People have been freaking out for 3 years or whatever it is about Starfield, and all we have was a fucking logo for it. So even 10 seconds, you go, well, nobody cares about that, but people would fucking break that down to the end of time. So you played Prey. Maybe I should show you the video and see.
Yeah, I'm about 2/3 of the way through the game right now.
Okay, it's not like it'll be a spoiler or anything. It's literally like a shot of a planet with somebody walking on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something we discussed quite a few times, and I know a lot of podcasts have about what this deal would be and if that means Bethesda games are actually going to be exclusive or not, which this obviously tells us at least some of them will not be. But like I said, I actually thought none of them would be, so I would be okay if they were, and I think it's weird that Microsoft wouldn't do that, but they just seem so all about putting their games everywhere that's why I thought they wouldn't. I do think, this might sound like I'm just trying to back up my point, but like I said, that's not actually how I want it, so there'd be no reason to back it up. I think the more likely scenario is probably that there'll be timed exclusives, even if they are exclusive. So I don't know which games it would be, if it's going to be Starfield or if it's going to be unannounced games, or what games it would be, but I feel like they'll say they're exclusive. I don't even think they'll say timed exclusive at the time to try and push Xbox, but I think Starfield will be out for a year and then the next year it'll come out on PlayStation, especially because by that point you're losing most of your sales by that point anyways, and then you get a whole new audience. But I could be wrong. Like I said, I also didn't think they'd be doing exclusives in general, even though I think they should.
Yeah, I think I would love that for it to all be exclusive.
Yeah. And then
you spend all that money, man. Why not?
Oh, I know. That's why I said if it was me, I wouldn't do that, and I would hope they would. I just seen how Microsoft has handled it is why I thought they wouldn't.
I tell you, it's one of the coolest things about DC, and one of the saddest parts is when you're on the trains. It's like once you get towards the end, it's like next stop Bethesda and stuff like that, Maryland.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I just want to stop there.
Yeah.
Quick. I'm 100% sure you could not get. It wouldn't be like when you went to PopCap games.
Oh, that was. Yeah, I think that was mostly luck.
I'm sure you just sit out the entrance and just look at the Bethesda logo and be like, wow, it's cool, we're here.
Oh, that'd be okay with me. I also went to Nintendo when I was there. Did I tell you about that? And the classic Nintendo sign out there everybody knows of, Nintendo America. And I even walked in the lobby, and there's a bunch of Japanese people, and they looked like I should not be there. Can I help you? And they're like, yeah, I just didn't know if you did tours or anything. No, it's not open to the public. Oh, okay. I'll get out.
Security. Fucking tackled. Weeb in the lobby.
Yeah. But I went in the building and I saw a sign, so yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. I would have gone in the building too.
Yeah. I didn't regret it, and they weren't rude or anything. I'm sure that's probably a common thing. So probably like, oh God, here we go again.
Is it Mario? And they're like, oh shit, we got him.
Yeah, you'd think they would have definitely a more high-tech version, but like what I was talking about in my work, where you had to like scan in or something, because I walked straight in. You think they would purposely have a defense against that?
Garrett, he's been on the show before, and he's the reason I work the job I work now. They didn't have that at our job too, the badging in and badging out. And he said this homeless guy kept wandering in thinking it was a hospital.
Yeah.
And they added that. So yeah, the fact that we have it too is like, I'm surprised Nintendo doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Even like the reception area where we sit, like you have to hit like a little computer screen and we'll talk to you before we let you in.
One thing that I heard a podcast talk about that I actually did not think about at all the times we talked about this is, what do you think this means for E3? Because assuming E3 does happen, Bethesda always has their own giant press conference, but that seems kind of weird to do that when you're part of Microsoft.
Well, I think how they really underlined that this is still its own separate company. I think they'll still be doing their own thing and do like a little bit with Microsoft. But I think they'll still have their own show since they're their own company still, technically.
I hope so. Yeah, the more shows, the better. Not as far as like spacing out and like this past year was, but like the more shows in E3's time frame, I'm all about that.
Yeah.
I think it does seem odd. I do think it's smart on business-wise to keep them separated, even though they obviously own them. I feel like that's the best way to create creativity and let them thrive while throwing, like you said, endless money at them, but not just being over their head.
Yeah.
I'm sure that it's not completely that hands off when you're spending that much money. I'm sure if something's going wrong, they'll be there.
Yeah.
So I think it's good to have that over your head, but not to just be pushed by that the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
There was a rumor, you might have seen it, said there's going to be some big Bethesda/Microsoft press conference this week.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know if that's true, but guess we'll see about that.
Even if like the Microsoft one was split, like the first part Bethesda, second part Microsoft, as long as they don't lose any content or whatever.
Yeah, especially because Bethesda, well, for one, just actually talking about games, they have some of the cooler stuff to show, I think. But then they also have some of the worst E3 moments, so I'd hate to lose that.
Yeah, I think Todd Howard would be afraid of losing his time to shine, his moment on the stage.
I think that's all I have with that one, unless you had anything to add.
No, that's it. Okay. The next one is from GameSpot. Halo TV show news. Master Chief actor Pablo Schreiber has said he won't do an impression on the Halo TV show, suggesting he won't try to replicate Steve Downs. Finish the fight. I don't like. See, I can't even. That was terrible. Try it, buddy. You do your best. Just a famous Master Chief line in his voice. What's a good saying? What's
I need a weapon.
That's pretty good, buddy.
I don't think so.
Little high pitch there. He's so fucking low that I think it's almost impossible.
Yeah. No, he's a badass.
I need a weapon. I can't even do that. It's not like a fucking Duke Nukem. Shit down your throat. This is kind of douchey. I didn't like this tweet he made. I don't do impressions. I play characters. Damn, dude. He said on Twitter, he said the video game focused on Master Chief, the super soldier, but the TV show will provide more depth and insight on the man under the helmet, John. Which is kind of cool. So let's go back to his tweet again. I don't do impressions. I play characters. Well, everybody knows the Master Chief. This show is an opportunity for us all to get to know John. Which is a little fruity. Like, get to know John.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He collects RC cars. I said, we are working incredibly hard to bring something to the screen that everyone can get behind. In 2019, it was teased by Showtime boss Gary Levine that Master Chief's helmet would come off in the Halo TV show. That's a big deal because Master Chief keeps his helmet on during most of the Halo video games. During most of the...
Yeah, spoilers in 5, it comes off for like a half second.
Oh, okay. I haven't played that one.
Yeah.
Or have I?
I thought you said you did on
Yeah,
here.
I've played 5, yeah. Yeah, I've played all of them. What am I saying? As Schreiber is alluding to his tweet, it appears Halo will focus more on John, blah, blah, blah. Wearing his helmet. Halo's, which I think is good for the TV show because I don't think you can make too much connections with the TV show-wise with just a helmet. But then it's like, that's Halo. This is Master Chief. He doesn't take his helmet off. What are you doing? Which is also would add another cool element. Like, I feel like Star Wars with Kylo Ren, one of the biggest issues when he took that fucking helmet off. It was so sick. I loved his helmet. The way his voice sounded.
Yeah.
And then he got real whiny right after he took it off. Halo's transmedia boss, Kiki Wolfkill. Is that her real name? Kiki Wolfkill. That is fucking badass. Is heading up to production. That sounds like an Xbox Live gamer tag. Are they sure they shouldn't change her name to her gamer tag? Is heading up the production of the Halo TV show for Microsoft, and she recently spoke about how the program will take risks and present something new to fans, and the fans may not like it. I did like what you had to say here, too. It's amazing to have these dedicated fan bases and communities, but it's also hard because there's so many diverse perspectives. At some point, you can't satisfy all the voices. You need to have your own voice, she said. I like that quote a lot. I think that's true about a lot of these big IPs. The Halo TV show stars Orange is the New Black Pablo Schreiber as Master Chief, which is weird to me because in Orange is the New Black, he plays like almost like a redneck, hard ass cop, like almost like Rico from Reno 911, like a real comedy. I was like, I don't see this. How's this gonna work? But then I see he was in a bunch of other stuff, and he kind of looks like I would expect Master Chief to look like. With Californification's Natasha Elhone as Dr. Halsey. So that means it must start pretty early in John's life as we get to know John in his RC car collection. Jen Taylor, who voices Cortana in the video games, will voice the character on the TV show as well. The Halo TV show will premiere in 2022 on the Paramount Plus. That's it.
So I think it definitely is a good idea, since he is the actor and they're going that way, to not have him try and, his quote was ridiculous, but not try and do impressions, because that would come off corny and probably wouldn't sound the same. But I just think it's an odd choice in the beginning, because I would assume before reading this that he would be in the suit most, if not all the time. So that's why I always said you could have somebody else act it, but I don't know why you wouldn't have Steve Downs just be the voice actor, especially since you have Jen Taylor doing Cortana. That seems like that's going to be super weird to have literally the same voice and then somebody's just doing their own voice with it. And that might sound silly, but I feel like a big part of the Master Chief character is his voice, like how stoic and how intimidating he is just by doing that. So I feel like losing that seems kind of weird. And I feel like that's what everybody says now, that you can have no connection to somebody because you can't see their voice, or you can't see them, and you have no emotion to it. But I feel like playing the Halo games, I definitely had emotional attachment without seeing him. I feel like you definitely can. And
that's stoic, quiet.
Yeah, I feel like that said something in itself. And I feel like the first time doing that, not being in the game, seems weird, and having somebody that is just going to play the Master Chief but not have the voice and just be outside the outfit, it seems like a lot of time. That's not how I picture the first big time Halo media to be. I hope it's well done. Obviously, I'm going to give it a chance, but I feel like this is not what I imagined at all. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I get it in one sense, but I also think it's just kind of weird because you talked about Kylo Ren, but like Darth Vader, I don't feel like anybody's like, oh, he needs to take off his helmet. I feel like everybody's just, oh my God, he's so badass.
Yeah. And they did. He was a geriatric albino. So the next one is from Game Informer. More Borderlands movie news. Eli Roth's Borderlands movie casts another role, this time with Creed 2 actor Florian. I can't pronounce his last name.
To all the boys.
Is it Krieg?
I'm actually not sure.
Joins other big name actors like Kate Blanche, Jamie Lee Curtis, Jack Black, and more. Krieg is from a bandit family with a rough past, tied to his mom for his perceived weakness. That lack of love toughened him up, only to have him captured by Dr. Benedict. This is so nerdy. When we met the character in Borderlands 2, he was a changed man from the doctor's experimentations. Testing that led to the creations of the psychos that love to shoot at us while we're exploring Pandora. Florian brings real humanity and multiple layers to a character who on the surface
fucking hate
seems
you.
totally insane and brutally savage, said Roth in a recent press statement. Krieg was by far the most difficult role to cast, and Florian brought up him to a life and grounded him in a way that I did not know was possible. He's going to be brilliant, Krieg, and will fit in perfectly with the incredible cast. The Lionsgate film is set to begin filming soon in Budapest.
There we go. More Borderlands news. I didn't have much to add there. Now it's kind of a running thing. Somehow every week there's a new cast member.
Yeah, I looked him up. He really looks like that character.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know the actor.
The casting looks good. I hope
Oh,
it's
yeah.
good. I love Eli Roth, so I think it's in good hands. This I didn't hear about this. This one got me excited. This
Me too.
sounds good.
Yeah, I was searching that Borderlands thing, and that came up. And wait, what the hell is this? And I thought this seems right up behind yours, alley. So that's why I put it on here.
For sure. From GameSpot, Neil Patrick Harris movie 8-Bit Christmas starts production. Production has begun on the new video games movie starring Neil Patrick Harris. The movie 8-Bit Christmas takes place in suburban Chicago in the 1980s with a story that focuses on a 10-year-old boy's epic quest to get the best video game system for Christmas, which is the Xbox, right? He wants a time machine in the 1980s to get the greatest console ever, which was the 360, and bring it back. The movie is being produced by New Line for HBO Max. Parent company Warner Bros. Says the film will offer humorous and heartfelt look back at the adventures of childhood. I'm glad this faceless corporation can tell me how I feel about their film that hasn't been started filming yet. The story centers on a kid named Jake Doyle, who is played by what's annoying about these companies too is they say generic stuff like humorous and heartfelt, and then meanwhile they're like taking the artists, people with the talent, to make something that's humorous and heartfelt, and they're tying their hands behind their back and telling them to do certain things and telling them how to make stuff. The story centers on a kid named Jake Doyle, who's played by Winslow Figley. I don't know who that is.
Neither.
Harris plays the adult version of Jake, and he also narrates the movie. June, Diane, Raphael, Grace, and Frankie, don't know that one either, and Steve Zahn, the Thing You Do in Sahara.
You know Steve Zahn, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Be surprised if he didn't.
I loved Sahara. Did you enjoy Sahara?
I mean, I saw it. I just seen how long you stare at me.
It's got your boy in it.
I feel like it's not my boy leaves.
Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, sounds like classic.
Play young Jake's parents, Kathy and John. No release date has been announced for 8-Bit Christmas, but it'll likely debut around Christmas.
That makes sense.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Does this remind you of any other movie?
You're probably thinking Wizard. No?
That would make sense. I get where you're coming from, but no, not The Wizard. A Christmas Story.
Oh, yeah, that's... I was going to say, any really actual, real classic Christmas movie is what this reminds me of, and that's what got me so excited, and adding video games into that just amplifies it. I think at worst, I judge Christmas movies different. I think at worst it'll be a cheesy, fun Christmas movie, but at best, yeah, I think they could actually make something really special with the... I like Neil Patrick Harris. I think him narrating, I think also sounds
the
a lot.
The narrating part's what made me think.
Yeah, so I was gonna say it sounds like a lot of classic Christmas movies, and he's good at narrating stuff like that. If you've ever heard him do before, and then I think the whole plot line, it obviously not too much to it, but I think if you do that right, it could be really well done.
Yeah, they might have started filming this one already. That would make sense for Christmas.
Yeah,
but the BB gun. And it's probably going to be NES, but they probably can't say NES or something.
I hope they do get some licensing if they don't talk about every game or anything. Because that'd be kind of lame to do like a South Park video game console, like a Common Game Spear or something.
Yeah.
I feel like it just sounds too cheesy.
Next one's for Polygon. New TMNT game announced. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is a 4-player co-op beat-em-up. In the classic Konami style, that is the style brawler that sucked quarters out of anyone of anyone who played 1989's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and his 1991 sequel Turtles in Time in arcades. As seen in the game's debut trailer, Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Donatello will take on the classic enemies like the Foot Clan, Bebop, and Rocksteady. More nerdy shit again. In the new side-scrolling adventures, the trailer also teases the appearance of other friends and foes, all to tune the classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series theme song. Here we go into the nerdy stuff. You guys ready? Here's the official setup of the game's stories and mechanics. With Bebop and Rocksteady amassing gizmos to support Krang and Shredder's latest scheme. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge finds the Turtles battling through breathless tour of iconic TMNT locations to thwart their Namathith most diabolical plan yet. Armed with shell-shocking new abilities built on the foundations of classic brawling mechanics, the gang are in for an exhilarating, Foot Clan stomping romp leading them through the sewers and bustling boroughs of New York City, all the way to Dimension X. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is being developed by Montreal-based Tribute Games. Two of the founders of the studio previously worked on Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game, and TMNT, the acclaimed 2007 brawler for the Game Boy Advance at Ubisoft. That's pretty late in Game Boy Advance life.
Yeah.
Tribute's other works included retro-inspired fare Panzer Paladin, Flint Hook, Wizorb, and Mercenary Kings. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is bound for unspecified consoles and PC platforms. Dotemu and Tribute Games did not announce the release date. I don't know if that's how you say that. Dotemu? I was pretty late to the arcade scene on both of those.
Oh, really? I played them all the fucking time. I'm sure I was playing them later than when it came out, too. They probably hung around longer than I was supposed to, but I used to play them all the fucking time. So I did not see this announcement coming, and when I first saw it today, I got so fucking excited, and then even more excited when I saw people that worked on Scott Pilgrim worked on it, because that's one of my favorite side-scrolling beat-em-ups. So
yeah, it's a good people for that.
Yeah, I think it's perfect. I think Scott Pilgrim was cool because the gameplay was a beat 'em up, but then they added a lot of like RPG elements that kind of refreshed side-scrolling beat 'em ups that you didn't see. I hope they don't make it too deep on this one. I think that worked for Scott Pilgrim. I think it's a cool difference, but I think there's also something to be said just about a simplified beat 'em up. Which Scott Pilgrim, like I said, the base gameplay was that, but I don't think you need Ninja Turtles. I need all like this character building and everything in that.
Yeah.
And the theme song is done by Faith No More, so can't go wrong there. I'm pretty
sorry, I took that out. I didn't know who that was.
I feel like I showed you one of their songs and you hated them. I think it's fucking awesome. Nick and our whole group of friends used to think I was joking when I said I liked it. They sing the song Epic. That's a fucking amazing song.
Is it Epic?
Yeah, I'll show you after this. It's
Okay.
great. Did you have any other news?
Yes. Yeah, I played this game much later, like at the bar.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
A few years ago.
Oh, that was the first time you played it?
Yeah.
Really?
I know people freaked out about them, and a little bit on the NES, like the NES beat 'em ups. But yeah, they're fun. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
Now, I mean, there seemed like any other beat 'em up at the time. They were so much more fun. And loving Ninja Turtles as a kid definitely made that, amplified that for me. And even the new TMNT movies that people hate on, they're definitely corny, but I think they're fun. Kind of like Transformers. I feel like you have to judge them different. I've even liked the new TMNT movies. So, yeah, I'm all about this.
The next piece of news is a big rumor from a YouTuber called PS Vita at 2 a.m., which I didn't know he's still uploading.
I never heard of him until you sent me this.
Really?
I watched it, though.
I watched it a few years ago. Maybe like 4 years ago when I first got my Vita. 2014? 15? I don't know. But he stays up to date on there. And he's like, one of the most... I was like, he's still uploading stuff. And he used to have this segment of like new games coming to Vita. And the only thing he could say on the newest episode was Hyroxia 2. There's nothing else. So he had a clip on there of an interview. Torino, I think the guy's name. I won't even begin to try to pronounce his last name, but he's a chief analyst for Sony. And it was a home interview because of Corona. But in the interview, he was talking about things that they're working on at PlayStation. And he said something new, something portable. And then kind of like looked at the screen, kind of like, I know what I just did. Like, I'm fucking grinning. Which this is the first time that it hasn't been like a leak or a patent that was hinting around at something.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a rumor, he has another video too you can watch in there about the PSP 5G streaming, which would essentially be streaming your PS5. Because I know you talked about how like you really can't make a portable device Sony-wise. But I think it'd be perfect for streaming your PS5. And it's not exactly what I want. Like you mentioned in the video, it's not what he wants either, but it's still something. And I think it makes sense to have it stream your PS5.
Yeah, that's before you told me about it, I gave impressions, but then I watched it as well. And after watching it, yeah, I think I would definitely want just a base handheld that it doesn't need to connect to anything. It'd be cool if it could. But yeah, I just want a Vita 2 or the next PSP, whatever you want to call it. So I'm with you. I just want a base handheld. I can't see Sony committing to that because we want that, but we're definitely in the minority. Majority of people don't want just a regular handheld anymore. So that's why I said, even before I watched it, that I thought it'd be a lot more likely that they would create something that would connect to PS5 or do remote play better. So I think that's a strong possibility. I think it still has to, I think it either has to do something way better than what you can do with remote play, because you can do like you can the Xbox app and like stream stuff to your phone and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's all it is, there's no reason to buy a Vita. So I feel like there has to be like a way strong connection or then a selling point. Or I feel like it's either going to be a really cheap option. Like, well, if you don't, I mean, it seems kind of silly because everybody has phones, but like if you don't have a phone or if you have a kid that you don't want to have a phone, here's a cheap option, be able to give it to them. But then at that point, I don't really know who would buy that anyways.
I remember he just said portable too, so it literally could be a PlayStation app.
Yeah.
Stream all your games to
Yeah.
your phone.
Uh-huh.
But yep, that's it.
That's it? Okay.
News-wise.
All right. I just had a few things I just took screenshots of. First one is big gaming news. We have 15 Bojangles opening up in Columbus, Ohio this year.
I saw that.
Did you? You've been there, right?
Oh, yeah, they're Virginia.
Oh, so you're probably not as crazy. I fucking love them.
Oh, it's good.
Okay.
It was a lot of my friends' first job in high school, actually.
Oh, really?
It was Bojangles, yeah.
I think it's fucking nuts that we have none here and never had, and they're opening 15 in Columbus alone. I was like, that must be Ohio, at least central Ohio, but it's just Columbus. And I don't.
Nice.
Doesn't seem like the best business idea, but I hope it works out.
Yeah, it's good. They're really good. I don't know, how do you feel about biscuits?
Oh, I like them. They're really good.
Yeah, they're just one of the best.
Yeah, definitely. Then more gaming news. The Grammys are March 14th. Taylor Swift will be performing on CBS. Don't miss it.
Damn.
That's the only artist of consequence there. They list like 20 others, but I haven't heard of any of them. They're all humongous. Just nobody cares besides her. There's one other gaming news here. As you can tell, these probably aren't gaming news by the way I'm saying it. Did you hear the, well, it's not a rumor because the XFL confirmed it, but right now, kind of up in the air, about them merging with the CFL, the Canadian Football League.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. They said that they plan it to start in 2022, but that's on hold right now because they're talking to the CFL. And I hope that happens because the XFL needs to do something to be sustainable, even though which sucks because I think if none of this virus shit happened, I think they were on track to do it. I think that fucked everything up. I don't think it was the league doing it. But yeah, I think the CFL, you'd have to add more teams because I don't think you could just have like half the teams playing here and half teams playing there. I think the travel would be a nightmare. But I think it's a really cool idea, and I feel like this is, if it's ever going to happen, the first step to minor league NFL. If you have two of the next two biggest football corporations coming together, and being so spread out, especially because I feel like the NFL has always wanted to go outside of the U.S., but it's just impossible to do that now. I feel like this would be a very easy way to do that.
I'm so shocked they haven't sponsored somebody.
Yeah.
Like baseball.
No, me too. Like we talked about, if you don't, there's two NFL teams here, but if you put a minor league team in Columbus and put them like in the Crew Stadium, holds like 20,000 people, that would sell out every game, especially if you market it like, hey, Cardell Jones, I almost said Cardell Wilson for some reason, I don't know who that is. Cardell Jones, the quarterback, and even if he struggled like he did in the XFL, that would sell out literally every game. And if it's in a 20,000 person stadium, that's going to seem like a crazy environment with tons of fans. And that's just me talking about here, but you can transfer that to Ann Arbor or Alabama or any of the cities that are humongous colleges but don't have NFL teams.
So my main boss, he played for the CFL, I think, for like 3 years or something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
He seemed to really like it. It was like a great alternative for guys that weren't where they needed to be for the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Or a good transitional.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
I think he played for the Stampede in Calgary.
I think that's right. I only know CFL like baseline, but it sounds right.
Hold on, he's got a Wikipedia page, so I could tell you. You know how cool it'd be to have your own Wikipedia page?
Yeah. We'll get there, don't worry.
Hell yeah, bro. I can't wait.
That would be like the 20 most offensive things we said and why we were canceled.
With quotes. Little audio, like we press the audio. Let's see. Played for the Jets, the Rams, and Calgary Stampeders.
Look at that.
But the Calgary Stampeders were sandwiched in between the two NFL teams too. So, I mean, from what he explains, like it's like those NFL teams are already looking at the CFL. Like it's got to be the next step down, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely the next level underneath it.
So NFL, what are we doing, man? Throw little bones in.
Yeah.
It's only like better for you. Get like a minor league, and Columbus would be perfect for a minor league team.
Oh, I know. I forgot there is one more bit of gaming news here. This is from ESPN. The NHL signed a 7-year contract with ESPN to bring hockey back to ESPN, which I think is fucking. So
you've told me about that before.
Yeah, fucking vital because when the contract ended, it just didn't just end, but ESPN just fucking ignored hockey. Stanley Cup would happen, and it'd be like the 7th news story after like generic basketball game, not like the NBA championship or something. And it was obviously because they were mad that they didn't have the contract, because I'm sure now it's going to be in top highlights all the time. But it's good for the leagues. That's all I really care about, because it was kind of stranded on NBC and not smaller channels. NBC is massive, but not the right audience for the NHL. Yeah. So that's good news. And then actual few gaming things quick here. Did you know this year, I didn't look this up to confirm it, but I'm going to trust GameSpot. It says 2020 is a huge year for FPS games with Call of Duty, Battlefield, and Halo. This is the first time ever that they've all come out in the same year and had a mainline game. And I was like, that might actually be right. I was like, there's no fucking way. No, wait, it says mainline, so it wouldn't be kind of ODST or Halo Wars, or so that would be, assuming none of these get delayed. I can't. Battlefield, I think, was the only one that might get delayed, but I was like, how does that never happen?
They're really pushing for that too, like some of the Easter egg stuff for Battlefield, and then getting ready for a big reveal. So I doubt they'd delay that too.
No, I don't think so either. I was gonna say, assuming none of them get delayed, but I don't see any way that Call of Duty or Halo does, and the only way I possibly see was Battlefield, but no, I don't think any of them do.
You seen some of the rumors coming out for Battlefield?
Just about them like moving developers and stuff, or
like the size of the multiplayer maps?
No.
It's insane sizes.
Oh god.
There's like some, I don't know if it was leaked or they put it out there. I'm sure they put it out there, but it was like this, their engine running with like a couple hundred guys running across the screen at a time.
So like could be cool or too overwhelming.
I'm gonna be over exaggerating with a couple hundred, but
no, I know. Yeah. Then Build-A-Bear announced today they're going to partner with Nintendo for Animal Crossing.
Uh-oh, Danielle.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fucking home run right there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of that, but that's like marketing genius right there.
I'm sure you guys are going to go. It's going to be a date night for you guys.
I'm sure, yeah.
Going out there.
Yeah, they already have like 10 of them on this picture, and I'm sure they'll add more and have all the clothes and everything. So, yeah, but that's like fucking marketing genius.
Danielle, do what I would do. Get one of each and all clothing.
There you go. That's the other thing. I wonder, because Build-A-Bear, unless there's like some audience I don't know about, it seems like everything's kind of available, but knowing Nintendo, I feel like this stuff's going to not be just like, oh, I can go get it.
Yeah. Didn't that happen with Pokemon a few years ago when they did that?
Oh, did it?
Yeah,
I know I had
so.
Pokemon. Wouldn't be surprised. The only other one I had, we usually don't talk about rumors, but this is just a screenshot and want to get your thoughts. Did you ever play Crysis?
Yeah, oh yeah.
There's a leak that came out. I didn't get a read about it because it happened right before this, but it said footage of a new Crysis Battle Royale game leaked. And Battle Royales are overdone, and I would love a Crysis campaign, but I don't think we're ever going to get a true Crysis game. But I think Crysis could actually be a really cool Battle Royale with all the tech and everything they had. Actually kind of make it different. So
Didn't you also land in the maps already like ODST? Or
yeah.
something? Yeah.
So I think that should be a really cool idea. It could be feasible because I feel like bringing back Crysis like a full-fledged game. I don't feel like it connects with many people, but I think bringing in a Battle Royale, people just feel it. You won't really need a Crysis name. You'll get people like me and you to care. But you'll get all the people who just care about Battle Royales and want to play a new Battle Royale game. But we'll see. That's just a leak I read right before this. So we can get into media pickups if you want. I don't have any this week.
I don't either. I do have some stuff I picked up.
Yeah.
Just don't have it in my phone yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Should we get into what we've been playing then?
Sure.
All right, you can start.
Prey 2017, just more of that. They've taken some really good elements from games and put it into this game. It feels a lot like Bioshock, which is why you gotta play it, man.
Yeah, I don't know if you got to the part last week. You said you were listening to our show. I went to play it during the live stream because I have it on my Xbox, and it said I have to own it. So I don't know if I maybe had it on Game Pass and got deleted because I'm not able to play it. So I thought you already beat it. So if you want to let me borrow it at any point, I'll definitely play it, or I can get it another way. But I know you're wanting me to play it.
Oh, yeah, it's good. There is a learning curve. It's not like Bioshock where it's like you fight everything. Like, I had to go on Reddit and be like, why am I so bad at the combat? And I had to, like, lower it to the easiest difficulty. Sometimes it's more easy just to run away from things, and it's like Resident Evil where you're really conserving bullets, and you're going to get fucked up. You're not some crazy cyber fucking Master Chief Rambo.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to sneak around, playing things out, trial and error. But the story's pretty cool. The world's pretty cool. They do some original things with it. More Valheim. Such a great zone out game too. But it's really pushing my laptop to its limits.
Really?
Yeah, so the FPS is ass. So I'm really... And you know FPS has to be bad when I start complaining. It's just almost sometimes unplayable. So I eventually want to get a new computer, man. And then Warzone. Just playing some Warzone.
Okay.
Played like 5 or 6 games last night.
I
With your
guess
brother, and he sent me a picture of his butthole. So
it's a good night?
Yeah, I sexted somebody last night. The best part too is he's like, "Yeah, man, sorry, there's like a little hemorrhoid on there too." I was like, "So great, so great."
Speaking of hemorrhoids, I've been playing a little bit of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I'm only probably like 40 minutes into it, so it's a really cool setup, but I can't really judge anything more than that yet. It's like a 25-hour game.
Okay, when you said hemorrhoid, I was like, "Oh, he's hating it."
Oh no, these are just my segues, make no sense and don't actually connect to each other. That's how I do segues. Sometimes maybe they will connect, but no, they're just to be fucking stupid. No, so I'm enjoying it, but I can't really say much more than that just because I don't feel like I've played enough to really judge it yet. A little bit of Warzone, actually. And then, have you played the Outriders demo? I know that was on both of our most anticipated game list.
No, I haven't.
It's a lot of fun. It's like 3 to 4 hours, and it's a demo.
Wow.
It's free to play. What a demo is. And all your progress goes to a full game if you buy it. So, I hate doing stuff over. So if you buy it, all your leveling and where you're at, your progress will start when you buy the full game. I have really mixed feelings. It's like Destiny mixed with Gears of War and Mass Effect. So that all sounds really good, and there's aspects of that that's really good. It's made by people that can fly, so Bulletstorm, really underrated, creative game. They also made Gears of War Judgment. So you can definitely feel the gears in there. It's a third-person shooter. They have like the roadie run. There's a lot of gears in there, you can tell for sure, which I'm totally okay with that. Mass Effect's kind of like the wandering like the worlds feels like Mass Effect, or like the equivalent of like the Citadel. And then Destiny is definitely, as far as like the menus, is just stripped out of there, like that cursor that they use in the little blocks and their inventory and equipment and everything is just straight from Destiny. But the things that I don't like, it is a demo, and I feel like calling it a demo might be a mistake, because I feel like it's more like early access, or at least hopefully it is, because the cutscenes, they were really cool, but they were fucking choppy as shit and running absolutely horrendous. And then some of the ones that are like not even cutscenes, they're kind of like cutaways where they talk, but it's not like technically cutscene. The text wasn't lining up with it at all, so, and they have closed captions, so you would read it and then it'd say it like 20 seconds later, or vice versa. Stuff that you'd see in like actual beta. So that's why I'm hoping that even though they call it a demo, this is essentially early access, I'm hoping, because some stuff that just seems totally unacceptable for a actual game to release. And then one thing that I think a lot of people might find to be a negative is that they announced that it's not going to be a living game or a games of service like Destiny. But that fucking excites me, because I like games like that. Like Destiny's cool and the games do it, but just everything has to be so overwhelming and just so overloaded. It's refreshing hearing games say that. And they said there'll be no microtransactions, and I will add that. Well, they say that, but we'll see. I could definitely see if the game's struggling, microtransactions seems like a really easy thing to add in there. Or even if it's doing well, be like, well, people are liking it, we can get some extra money.
Yeah.
The microtransaction part I don't actually have an issue with, as long as it doesn't affect the gameplay. I don't care if you pay for cosmetics or whatever. I'm not going to do that, but I have no issue if other people want to do that. But more so the mission structure and the fact there's like a finite ending is what excited me and might draw other people away, because it said it'll be 25 to 30 hours of main story mission with side missions also on top of that. So that sounds fucking awesome. It sounds like what I want, what I try and find in Destiny, like the main content and get a ton of it, but not just overload with a ton of nonsense and bullshit that is not necessary. And it's only 3-player co-op, which is odd, but I also think that's a unique, cool change.
Yeah, it's weird hearing an odd number.
Yeah. But I think it's cool, because I feel like a lot of times we do have 3 people, and we're like, oh, we got to find a 4th. So I feel like it's kind of cool. And then each class, there's 4 different classes, and they're super unique. Like Derek, I think, was a technomancer, and I was a pyromancer. So my dude had these crazy fire effects, and he had these like telekinesis kind of powers. But then you could work them together, so me and him were like powering off each other. So even though there's these hang-ups that seem like this game should not even be close to coming out, because it comes out April 1st. That's the other thing why I'm wondering how much this will be fixed by then.
Mm-hmm.
Or if this is going to be essentially early access, even when the game does come out, you're still going to have these issues. Because there's these frustrations, but underneath it is actually a really exciting game, and me and him are both talking about buying it, and can't remember, that felt like old style games where I do, oh shit, we got to get this. So it was really exciting feeling that again. I just hope they can figure some of that stuff out.
Yeah, I mean, fix those things, man. It sounds right up our alley.
Yeah, I think you would like it a lot. And we were already building off like each other's powers, but I think having the third person there, he could really do some shit. And there's cool powers, but then there's this fucking crazy skill tree that keeps giving you new powers and like new elements, and it's some bonkers shit. I think I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say something else there. Damn it, I can't remember now. But I'm excited about it. We'll see what happens. Like I said, April 1st when it comes out. So I'll let you know if I end up getting it. There's actually a few games I'm excited about coming out. So
cool.
See if I end up buying some stuff, which I haven't done a lot recently. And then let us know what you've been playing in the comments. And then what you've been watching, buddy.
I watched 21 for the first time.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What do you think?
It wasn't good.
You didn't like it?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't like it.
I haven't seen it for a long time. I hope I don't not like it if I watch it again.
Why is there always those same bar scenes in like every movie that includes Harvard? You know what I'm talking about? I'm sure as soon as I said that, like things are popping in people's heads right now.
I actually don't remember it.
Like it's like just the stereotypical scenes in every Harvard movie, or the Boston bars.
I don't feel like I can picture it in my head.
Really, like Good Will Hunting, or where you just like this everything's wood. There's a wood texture. Everyone's wearing like the super tight little sweater, like sweaters with the crew neck. I don't know what they're called, crew neck sweaters, and they're always like getting fights or something in there and using super Bostonian accents. Kevin Spacey is really full of himself, mainly because the guy that wrote this book that was involved with the group was approached to sell the movie rights for like, I don't know. I don't know the exact amount. I don't want to lie, but Kevin Spacey approached him like, "Hey, we want your movie. I want to make this movie. I want the movie rights." He's like, "How much will you pay me? These guys are offering me this." He's like, "Nothing, but I'll be in your movie, so it'll be huge and it'll be worth it. You'll make a lot of money because I'm in it." And so he's like, "Okay, I'll do that." And it did end up working out better for him, but that's such a douchey way to do business. And especially I think Kevin Spacey at one point too was like Vegas, baby, or something like that. And I was like, this is so stupid.
I'm pretty sure he did say that, yeah.
And then Josh Gad, I just have him listed here as a retard. At one point,
I remember him being in that.
Yeah, he's just jamming Twinkies in his mouth while he's on the bed, just like popping them in. Like, the fucking so stupid. And then he's playing basketball, and he's like double dribbling both hands like a fucking idiot and shooting, and it's like way off, and he's just like the bumbling fat retard. Like, oh, we couldn't afford Jonah Hill, but Josh Gad, he's close enough as he's jamming Twinkies.
He's probably more expensive now after a while.
Right. There's also a scene where the main girl crush, that counts cards with, she's exercising, and like, dang, check her out, and she's just boxing this like punching bag, and she does not know how. Like, I wish there's a way I could show you this scene for everyone listening. I don't know if you could look it up, maybe Basketball 21 or something. Her punches were so bad, and like she's like throwing like these little punches, and like after 3 she's like, I'm out of breath. And then
Did she say that?
I fuck, who knows, probably. Then the main character is like, it's just like Good Will Hunting, where it's, dude, he's wicked smart, and he'll just be like, the professor, which of course the really intelligent, witty, amazing, awesome professor is Kevin Spacey, and he's just like, so why would we think they would use these quadratic formulas? And then of course all these real smart kids are just quiet, and maybe Josh Gad was like, he raised his hand and said something stupid like, oh, this, and then Kevin Spacey's like, shut up, fat ass. And then it was like, dude. And then Josh Gad's friend is just like, well, I think it's because the y plus x to the b to the fifth power. And then he's just like, Kevin Spacey's like, that's good. That's really good. Wow, this kid's intelligent. Really smart. He just sounds like a fucking pompous asshole. I mean, at some point the acting is good. It gets better in it, but there's also a really annoying thing Kevin Spacey does where he'll get like a little piece of chalk as he's writing, and then someone will say something stupid or like they're just trying to have like a goofy moment in the movie. Like, doesn't Kevin Spacey really cares about his students, and which is kind of funny now thinking about what he did. It was really weird watching it, knowing what's happened. But it'd be like a quarter piece of a chalk, and he'll throw it at the student, and everyone just starts laughing and like, oh, aren't we so goofy? We're all so goofy.
Yeah, I was gonna say him being pompous asshole sounds like 99% of his roles.
But this movie is definitely a product of its time. I feel like there's a lot of movies that came out like that. I probably would have liked it way more if I would have watched it when it came out, but it felt like a shittier Ocean's 11 or something. I watched it because I know you liked it, and then listened to the podcast with the guy that wrote the book and was there for it.
Yeah, I loved it. I saw it in theater, so I mean, I'll be honest now. If I watched it, if I liked it, I'd say it. But yeah, I'm worried that maybe it wouldn't hold up.
This is so stereotypical, though. That shopping scene where they're all buying real fancy stuff, walking in slow motion with sunglasses, where they're like the narrating while the team's walking real fast. And yeah, Ocean's 11 did it, that kind of style. Like, all right, when you move to table 2, cross the arms, and it's just like, I think there's at some point there's like CG cards and stuff, and just an absolute product of its time for sure.
I think Ryan watched it recently and really liked it, but he also, I don't know if he got to that part of the podcast yet, really loves Kevin Spacey. So. Oh
yeah, I know he likes the space man. Just like stupid stuff where he's like throwing the chalk and everyone's just, oh, aren't we so goofy and cute? The ending's cool though. I will give it that. There's this little twist, makes it better.
Okay.
And then I watched a 1981 movie called Happy Birthday to Me. It's a great 80s slasher gore film because those are usually pretty cheesy, but this one somehow kind of escaped it. It reminds me almost like a Jordan Peele story or a M. Night Shyamalan where it's supposed to be that big twist, but it's also kind of like you're expecting a twist or something corny to happen.
Really? You're telling me you expect to Get Out? I don't believe that.
Trying to remember what happened in Get Out.
I'm just being everybody that we said it to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely do remember being... yeah, it just felt like something they would write.
Yeah.
And sometimes the story definitely gets confusing and it's a little messy. But the death scenes are, for 80s movie, an early 80s, probably late 70s when they started making it. Really well done, gore. But it also includes an actress, Melissa Sue Anderson. She's the main character. She was in House on the Prairie, Little House on the Prairie. Jesus Christ, a little stroke there. Little stroke on the House in the Prairie. She played Mary Ingalls. Remember her? Did you ever watch Little House on the Prairie?
I know it, but I didn't really actually watch it.
She was like the main girl in it.
Okay.
So it's weird seeing innocent Mary Ingalls like taking part in these insane murders.
Yeah.
It was released by Mill Creek, and I love Mill Creek because they do some great packaging and find some really obscure shit and bring it back to life and bring it to Blu-ray. But they didn't put any special features on this. Like, I could listen to a commentary track over this or something. But no, didn't have any. It was weird. It's like as soon as you put the Blu-ray player in, or Blu-ray disc in, it was almost like when you buy a pirated Blu-ray and just immediately started playing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's all I watched.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Before I talk about what I watched, I remember what I was going to say about Outriders, so I'll get to it. So I want to remember another thing from the week before. It was that all those issues with that running, I'm on an original Xbox, obviously, or a launch Xbox One, not an original Xbox. So everybody I talked to was like, well, dude, what do you expect? It's a next-gen game, which I said I can't fucking stand. I mean, that's true. I know how old my console is, so I'm not like butthurt by that. I know I'm behind the times now, but it's annoying because like we talk about all these companies talk about how everything will run the same. You don't have to worry, and then everybody's like, "Dude, what do you expect?" I expect these companies to do what they say, but even then, that argument doesn't hold up because Derek was playing with me, and he has like top line PC, as you know, and he was saying he was having the same exact issues. So it's definitely not an old console thing.
Yeah.
I was talking to some people from work, and they're like, well, dude, no, that's definitely your system. Definitely not, because I was playing with somebody that has a system more expensive than the Xbox Series X, and he was having the same issue. So
Yeah.
that's not a system issue. And it wasn't.
His computer's like probably 4 of the Series
Yeah.
X's.
And it wasn't like, I wish I was streaming it, but I feel like you know what I'm saying. It wasn't lag. You could tell it was definitely the game doing it. But I just wanted to get that before I got off of there. The only thing I've actually been watching this week is WandaVision. Have you started it? I know you're not the biggest Marvel guy. No.
There's nothing about that that's appealing.
That sucks. I think you would actually like it. They set up every episode like it's a sitcom. You know that, and it's a different decade each episode. Without spoiling too much.
I was talking about that I work with.
Mm-hmm.
He's insane in some comic book shit, and he was telling me about WandaVision.
Really, I thought that sounded up your alley.
I'd probably give that a go, but I just the Marvel shit.
It's definitely. I feel like you'd have to have an open mind, even possibly like it, because it's super corny. But I feel like it's really intentional on this one. Like the generic sitcom is what they're going for, and then the more serious stuff comes out of that. I'm trying to spoil too much. I haven't finished myself yet. I think we just finished episode 7, and there's 9, I think. I'm actually really liking it. I know I like Marvel a lot more than you do. Not a competition. I just know you're not the biggest fan. But one thing I was thinking about watching this, especially the first 2 episodes being in complete black and white, and that tells you something because, you know, I hate black and white, and I still was. I knew they were like the best episodes in the world or whatever, but they kept my attention.
I think when he told me that, I thought of you.
Yeah, watching it, I was like, oh shit, it's black and white at the beginning, and I slowly just was watching it, and I didn't really process that, which I feel like is a sign right there. But what I was thinking about when that was happening is, I know Marvel gets too much credit from a lot of people. They're just, whatever they do is fucking gold.
Yeah.
So I get why it annoys you, kind of like I talked about last episode when you're like, oh, here goes the hipster. I know you're joking, but because it's a reaction that's just so annoying from everybody.
Yeah.
But I feel like most things, the middle ground, I feel like there's something I haven't really thought about with Marvel because it's just so massive now and just so mainstream, is that how much credit Disney, I almost said DC, Disney doesn't get for it, which is easy to say now because everything they have, but like going back at the beginning, before all the Avengers and everything, the commitment of putting this much behind something like Marvel, which before the original Spider-Man comic book movies were like the biggest joke in the world. And I get like, they could be like, well, yeah, but Spider-Man blew up and there's other successes after that, so that's a easy sale. But for them to commit to something for the next 10 years, we see how fickle things are. Just because something's popular in 1 year doesn't mean it's going to be the next year, let alone an entire decade from now. So I feel like that's something that I know there's people that go to the far end and just everything they do is absolute gold. But I feel like I never really thought about how I feel like they don't really get credit from that. And the reason I thought that is because a lot of them are like cookie cutters. I know that's your issue with them. And even though I enjoy them, I can admit that. I just think they're fun, but that's how most of them are. But the reason I thought about this one is those first 2 episodes starting black and white and being this sitcom and not really seeming to have any real connection to Marvel. I was like, that alone, I can't imagine many properties taking that risk. I know to them it's a drop in the hat or drop in the bucket for fucking Disney. But like thinking about probably doing that with their first 2 episodes of a brand new show and the first time they ever did real TV like that, I can't think of many companies that would do that. But I feel like it shows that they built up over a decade that they can do something like that and not worry about it backfiring because they have such an audience now.
Yeah.
So, I'm really enjoying the show, but that's more so I thought you'd find that interesting to talk about because I didn't, like I said, obviously people credit their movies. People don't shut up about that, so I'm not saying they don't get credit for that, but I feel like people don't really acknowledge the risk that much it must have took, especially from a company like Disney to commit to something like that.
Yeah, I think that encourages more to watch it. The fan base of Marvel and
Yeah.
the whole thing all around Marvel is just so annoying sometimes.
Yeah. No, I get that. That's why I started with that, because I know I like Marvel more than you do, so I feel like it might sound like I'm just doing that, but that's why I try to come at it from that angle of being like, this is something I've actually never really thought about, and I feel like it's actually super interesting. I do like the show on its own, but I don't want to ruin anything, especially if you end up watching it. But I'd be curious, because I said, unless you're like, yeah, I'm ready for something real different, I feel like you might fucking hate it, but I think there's a chance you would absolutely love it. So I'd be curious to see what you think. That's actually the only thing I've been watching this week, though. So let us know what you've been watching in the comments, and we can get to the free games if that sounds good.
Sounds good.
So on Xbox, you have Warface Breakout till March 31st. Xbox 360, you have Metal Slug 3 till March 15th. This one's Cody's favorite on Xbox One, Dendara Trials of Fear Edition till March 15th. And on PlayStation Plus, you have Final Fantasy VII Remake, Remnant from the Ashes, and Farpoint VR till April 5th. And PS5, you have Destruction All-Stars and Maquette till April 5th. And then, even if you don't have PlayStation Plus, you can get Ratchet and Clank, the like remake, reimagining, whatever you want to call it. They're giving it away free until the end of June, or sometime in June. So that one's free for everybody, even if you don't have PlayStation Plus. And then now it takes us to Fake Outrage. Do you have any this week?
No.
Damn it, I don't either. I was hoping you would. Sad day. Should we do a game show?
Let's do it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Mary, get 2 guesses and phone a friend if you want.
I don't know who the fuck would. I bet Derek would.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can do it up until you get your 2 guesses, so you can use any time in between there. Clue 1. You play as a character named Jack.
I got some obvious, like Jack and Daxter, but there's no way it's that easy.
I don't know, bro.
Jack. Okay, go with next one.
Okay, clue number 2. This game was originally a Microsoft exclusive.
Jack. Okay, go ahead, next one.
All right, clue 3. This game takes place in 1960.
What the fuck? That's oddly specific. Next one.
Clue 4. One of this game's
raging clue.
One of this game's biggest inspiration was the book Atlas Shrugged. Excuse me.
Atlas Shrugs. No fucking idea what that is.
Oh, really? Atlas Shrugged? You never heard of it?
No.
I never read it. I'm not going to act like I know, but it's like one of the most well-known books.
Didn't they make a movie?
Yeah, I heard that was horrendous. I haven't seen it, though.
Really long, too.
Yeah. The book's super long, too, I've heard.
Really?
Yeah.
Base.
I was worried I might give it away. I thought maybe you've heard this before.
Nope.
So.
What's the next one?
Okay. Number 5. This game is a first-person shooter.
Originally an Xbox 360 exclusive is what they said?
Microsoft exclusive. If I said, I might have said Xbox, but I specified Microsoft because I didn't want to confuse you, but I might have done that by accidentally saying Xbox.
I don't remember what you said. As Microsoft, Jack, Atlas is like multiple lives, right? No fucking idea. Let's call Derek.
Are you gonna use your phone, friend? All right.
Let's fucking do it. I feel like this nerd will know. Is he not on here? Oh god, I might have to use the Facebook option here. I doubt he'll answer the Facebook one.
I feel like it will if he's up. I feel like that'd be the only question. Alright, Ryan said 30 seconds after you read all your clues is what he decided on. Or once I do, whatever. What answer? I feel like Regis. If he doesn't answer, I can give you his real number if you need that, because the chance he's not actually around that or whatever.
Yes, let's do the actual number.
Okay, I'll show it to you just off chance, so I'm not giving his number to anyone. Oh, I called him awkward. Hope he didn't call me back while you're trying to call him. I gotta ask you something about Regis once we're done with this game show.
He died this year, right?
Oh shit, he did. I was gonna say, no, he didn't die, but I totally he's dead. Oh no. These phone of friends aren't going well.
Oh shoot.
Okay, before we go farther, Ryan was creating like an alternate history, or he just didn't remember. He was telling me and Danielle that on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, that's the point of it, that they always answered, and they had it pre-screened. No, that was a risk. Regis would be like, or hope they're going to answer, and there'd be a chance they wouldn't answer, and it'd just be awkward, and the guy was sitting there.
I barely remember that.
Oh, really? I watched way too much of that show.
I definitely watched a lot of it, and do remember the suspense and the fucking music. But yeah.
Okay. Do you want me to repeat the clues so far?
Yeah,
No,
go
I took
ahead.
us off a little. You play as a character named Jack. This game was originally a Microsoft exclusive. This game takes place in 1960. One of this game's biggest inspirations was the book Atlas Shrugged. This game is a first-person shooter. I almost read the next one. But that's up to 5 there.
Go ahead, read me the next one.
All right. There are 2 other games in this series.
Oh, shit. Next one.
This game came out in 2007.
What the fuck? Okay, that's a crazy year for video games.
Yeah. That's an interesting episode we could do. I think that's easily or at least I thought was the easiest, like the best year for video game history. But I saw a screenshot of another year that's definitely a contender. I feel like we should do an episode where we debate that, not like ESPN style. I think it's a genuine debate.
2007?
Yep.
1960. Next one.
These next few are where it gets real easy, but we'll see. This game is the spiritual successor to System Shock 2.
What the fuck? I'm so stupid. I didn't know they were that modern. 1960. I thought they took place in the 50s. I also didn't know it was originally an Xbox 360 exclusive.
Oh, really?
Thought about guessing it, but I was like, trying to go back and remember when I saw it on PS3 boxes. Yeah, but Bioshock.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't lie. I thought it was 50s as well because so much of the 50s music is in there. So I always assumed it was 50s. But that's because that's when Rapture was falling. So that's like stuck there from the 50s. But this game takes place in 1960.
1960.
I wasn't trying to trick you with that. I wanted to look up the year so in case they talked about like in the game or whatever. I didn't say 50s. You know, that can be Bioshock.
Yeah.
I did know the exclusive thing though because I remember they showed it at E3 and this game looks fucking amazing. And that's when I told you I bought it. And then, well, I think I rented it. And I was like, I can't fucking play this. This is not what I expected. And I gave up on it and then went back to it. Now it's one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
So You got it on clue 8 there. So that's 4 for you. Is that right?
I don't know. Think so.
Think so. I'm going to go back through these episodes and get a...
Dang, really?
Yeah, because they're usually at the end of the episode, so I can skip through and get standings because we wanted to keep track of it. And I feel we need to come up with a better scoring system anyway, so that'd be a good way to do it. See where we're at, see how much of a gap there is. But that was a game show for this week. And then not too much left here. We won't be doing an episode next week. It'll be the first episode that we haven't done in general. Some of us have missed episodes in particular, but never just skipped an episode. You're going to Florida. That's right?
Yep.
Want to talk about what for or no?
Yeah, it's my step-grandparents live in Port Charlotte, and then just south of there is Renee's grandparents, not doing well, and then her parents. They're all in the same area.
Oh, okay.
And because of COVID, no one's seen each other. Florida's pretty open. Renee's been vaccinated. I've been tested not that long ago, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable.
There you go. You excited?
Yeah, I fucking love Florida. It's especially right now, perfect weather. Probably almost a little too hot. We're gonna go to. There's a really good game store there called 8-Bit Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
That's really famous for. It's one of the few in that area. They get some crazy rare stuff. Really cool store. There's a mall there in Port Charlotte that is. They got the FYE, GameStop. It just looks like a time warp. Excited to go to that, and there's a steakhouse there called Cody's Steakhouse. And Renee's parents bought me a shirt there and told me how it's actually pretty good.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I'm going to go there. And,
very nice.
They have something called Cody's Special. I have no fucking idea what it is, but I'm like, I have to order that. Cody's, we don't get a lot. We don't have our own gas station like some people. But yeah, I'm excited to go eat some Cody's.
Oh, I'll eat some Cody, you know what I'm saying? That's exciting stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of bad that I go to Florida and Renee's like, oh, the beaches and this and that. It's like the mall and video game stores and restaurants.
I like doing both. I like doing all that stuff, you know me. So
yeah,
both sound good to me. We're going somewhere similar, actually.
Oh yeah. Let's hear it.
We're going to New York City. So,
the epicenter.
But the only time I went there was 2 hours we spent there. I think an hour and a half you were sleeping of it. And somehow didn't get our car jacked, which would make a story to tell on the other podcast. Be a funny story. Be a quick one. But we're going there. Danielle's been there a couple of times. I've only been there for this couple of hours. I found a crazy deal at the New Yorker, which is one of the most well-known hotels there. And gonna stay there for 4 nights.
Sure,
it's
so cheap.
It's not though for some reason. Yeah, I read an article that 700 or 200 of the 700 hotels shut down already.
Ooh.
But for some reason, the hotels are fucking still super expensive. Maybe because that's the only way to have a chance to survive. You know, they probably make them cheaper, more people book them. But maybe they're like, this is their only chance to.
You guys flying?
We're driving.
Driving.
Yep.
Flying is real cheap right now too.
Yeah.
$50 from Columbus to fucking south of Port Charlotte. $50 round trip. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I like both of them, but I like driving. I've never driven my car on a trip yet, and I bought a brand new car, so that'd be fun to do. And
Just
this crazy, yep,
cute.
This crazy deal I found. The New Yorker is like in actual Manhattan, not like because most times you go there and you have to stay like in New Jersey because it's so expensive, and it includes parking. So I'm just gonna park there and leave it there, and then walk and Uber and take the subway everywhere else, and not even use my car once I'm there.
Did hear my dad told me they're doing weird shit with their subways right now.
Yeah, I'm sure there's all kinds of weird stuff, but I find my way around. I'll definitely be going to the Nintendo store finally. So if there's anything that you want me to get and you pay me back, let me know. Or anybody else that's listening to this, because I know there's some stuff you can only get there.
Yes. Probably, yes.
But yeah, that'll be the next week. For the first time we haven't done an episode in over a year since we started this, which is kind of crazy. I assume we would miss months of this, if I'm honest.
I've been here every episode too, so it's gonna be really weird for me not being here 1 week.
But that does mean when we come back, there'll be 2 weeks worth of shit and multiple trips to talk about. So should be a lot of content, and like some episodes where we're kind of like, what do we talk about?
Yeah.
Then the only other thing is the next extra live stream I'm going to do it March 26th, which is a Friday. I'm going to start at 11 a.m. And then I have a question for you and the audience. Okay. Should I do my normal variety stream where I just kind of pick random stuff? Or we talk so much about Bioshock and I feel like some people just aren't going to play it. I know you won't get the same connection. You should play it. That's my recommendation. But some people just aren't going to. Would it be cool to beat all of Bioshock, start at 11 a.m. until I beat Bioshock, and then the next month do Bioshock Infinite? I skipping over Bioshock 2. I love it, and you should play it, but I feel like those two definitely are the most impactful. And what do you think?
Go for it, man.
Yeah? Let me know what you guys think. I'm just going to kind of do majority, whatever everybody thinks. I'm down for either. And it might get boring just seeing the same game over, but if you're able to watch the whole time, I think it'd be fun to see the entire story of Bioshock and see if I go crazy playing that one game the entire night.
Yeah, at first I was a little worried. I thought you meant 1 through 3, and I was like, holy shit.
Oh, no, yeah, it need to be like a 40-hour stream. But I think that's it. You got anything else?
Nope.
As always, you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at currentbacklog. And you can email any corrections, question, or feedback to currentbackloggers@gmail.com. You want to clap us out there, buddy?
My face is copyrighted.